Just when you thought there was nothing left for you to do with your night, the Revolver Podcast, Mama Hot Flash, crew is hot, always doing you right. With a fresh take on gaming weekly, PCs, consoles, and handhelds. Bump what you heard since birth on this earth, we know that the future belongs to the nerds. Revolver Live. What you say? Revolver Live. Every Sunday at 6. Bringing that gaming magic to your life. Doing it live on Twitch to show that you don't want to miss. Be sure to subscribe. Crack yourself a brew. If at work or you now you can join the crew for the ride. Xbox, mobile, and hot topics around the nation. To gaming rigs, headsets, hardware, and PlayStation. Shout out to Joe. Can't you see him glow? Token brother brought the flow. Now it's time for the show. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Revolver Live, the game show where we actually... I can't hear anything. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Revolver Live, the game show where we actually talk gaming and... Something's wrong with my computer.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Give him the hammer.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. I think the flow was just too lit.
It was too hot. It was too hot. The flow was too hot. It was too hot
Too-
for Beasley's computer. It overheated his processor. We need to get him some liquid cooling stat. The laptop fans just overcooking it with the hype. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing? Wilson, Gary, how you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Welcome to Revolver Episode 2. We have completely rewritten the script. Everything is now different than what it used to be. And everybody's face is in a different place because Beasley left the call. So we're going to just do this live. We got six topics. We got feedback this week. So every week we're going to be doing feedback on the show. So if you want to give us feedback, you can hit us up in the Discord. We have a special Revolver feedback forum in the Discord, or you can send us email directly to revolvergamescast
at Gmail.
and that's it at gmail.com. And while Gary introduces it, I'm going to fix everybody's cameras.
Can you guys see me now?
Yes, we can. Beasley, how you doing, man?
See you.
Well, I don't know what's going on with this thing. Welcome to Revolver Live, guys. The gaming
We just did that.
podcast.
We on the fly. We did the welcome to the Revolver.
I don't know what happened. Everything on my screen just went haywire. What's going on, guys? Did you guys introduce all the hosts?
We
had
just
some
did
really
the
funny quirks to
introduction.
do
Now
today.
we're on to feedback.
All right.
Awesome. So the first bit of feedback we've got is, will Beasley fix his shit laptop? Moving on from that.
That's good feedback. You know, who was
That's
that
good.
from,
That's
Gary?
good.
Who sent that in?
Gary
I
Diaz.
think that was someone, Gary Diaz 86 in the chat. I mean, I don't know who the guy is, but he sounds like he knows what's up in this podcast.
Even you know what, guys? Even when I get dissed from Gary, it still sounds sultry and nice. He's like
Right?
the white Barry White of the UK. I love it. It sounds so soothing. Get your shit together, Beasley. I'm like, absolutely, Gary. Absolutely.
Some would call him the voice.
The voice.
Discount buy. Anyway, the first bit of feedback that we got actually was from friend of the show, Hugo Rune,
You go.
who sent us a delightful email. I see you lurking in chat. Delightful email with some great feedback, saying he really likes the idea that we're expanding out not just from games but also into general nerd culture. And just for James Pratt, Hugo, he actually asked us to take a shot of liquor when we changed each topic. So 6 topics deep, we're going to be 6 shots deep on
Look,
this.
Hugo, like, I'm not gonna lie here. All right, this is good feedback, and as soon as I read it, I liked it, except for the fact, Hugo, I got shit to do.
6 shots. When I first heard this feedback, I was like, that's really going to mess up the rest of my Sunday night.
The last episode of Beasley Thoughts Live, I had 5 beers, and I don't remember the last half of that show.
I don't remember the first half of the show, bro.
It's
So
a good thing Mrs.
kicking the,
Rabbit came in and took that one beer from you.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
She sure did.
Kicking the show off in Hugo's honour, we've got, for those of you listening to the audio-only version, we've got a Jägermeister poured. So gin, gentlemen, pour out a little for my homies.
I think this is gonna be something I do on a not regular basis. Like,
Pour.
if I know I ain't got anything to do on Monday and possibly Tuesday, yeah, I'll do some shots on Revolver.
Absolutely. And for me, guys, I'm not drinking any alcohol, but I do got some purple drink in here. And so I still get street cred for my purple drink. It's actually purple.
There you go.
It's Ribena. So, other email that we got was from a gentleman, Super Dan. So thanks, Super Dan. He actually gave the feedback. Really enjoyed the podcast, but it will be a cool addition to see guests on the podcast every once in a while. What do we think of that? Bringing guests into our little club.
Yeah.
That is for sure in the plan, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in the
I
works.
think,
Definitely.
I think it's definitely in the pipeline. Probably within the next few weeks, we're going to work something out with some interesting individuals and have them on the Revolver Live podcast. So it's definitely coming. It's something we talked about, during the pre-show and coming together with the ideas of Revolver. It's kind of like a revolving chair type of situation on the Revolver podcast. So I'm excited to see that.
I like that.
Like
The
it.
Yeah.
revolving chair. That could be like the
Yeah.
fifth seat, right? The revolving
Yes.
chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay to kind of get our legs under us first couple episodes, right? And then bring in guests once we're familiar with the format ourselves, and we can help people out when they come on the show a little bit.
And
Let
then
me-
Beasley gets his laptop fixed.
Hey, man, I was looking at some Asian porn, and I don't know what happened here, but looking at us, right? I'm looking at the three of you guys and myself, and something that I said on the Revolver soundtrack that absolutely rings true. The future is for the nerds. It belongs to us. It's really exciting to see that. The coolest motherfuckers on earth were yesterday's nerds, and look at us now. It's a beautiful
Right?
thing.
Literally, the four coolest motherfuckers on Earth are on this show. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
we got together. There was basically a meeting where they said, okay, we need the top 100 coolest people on Earth, and then we're going to weed you down to the top 4. And us being the four coolest people on Earth, we knew that we were going to make top 4. So we basically started making our plans before they even weeded us down.
Yeah.
I barely made
I-
made number 4 because I vape.
I mean, everything's accurate.
It was the
about that
fidget
story.
spinner that got you in, though.
I think Wilson. I think Wilson's super cool because his neighbor is a demonic child named Dennis the Menace, and he calls Wilson Mr. Wilson. And Briar is the most expensive, rarest Destiny DLC you'll ever see. You'll never see it. That DLC. It's just Briar by himself.
It's just pure pay to win. I don't like it. So what do we have in the Discord, Wilson? I know
got-
that we had a ton
continuing-
of feedback in there, and you are the Discord moderator guru.
I guess I would go by that. We did going on the topic with more feedback. Omega Raw chimed in and said feedback, 5 topics, and the 6th one being a dick joke. So good, definitely
Some
definitely
carryover.
take that into consideration. Let's see here. So is it not so much feedback, but more of a comment on our previous topic of
Mhm.
buying games digitally and game sharing?
Yeah.
So is it? Good friend of the stream says buying games digitally is just so more advantageous now. I've got good internet, meaning I can download the game quickly. With game sharing, I can not only save living space, but because no boxes, I can save money by sharing the price with my brother. Plus, games require installing and day one patches now anyway, so you won't get around to it right away. Paying half the price is just an advantage I can't justify buying physical copies for. Plus, I
Yep.
can buy the game with more stuff in it and still save money compared to buying a physical copy, which is pretty much what we touched on. So it seems that he agreed on our game sharing topic there.
With being able to download it too is like if you're excited for like a midnight launch of a game, a lot of the games
Yeah.
now you can
Preload.
preload, so you have it downloaded and ready to go. As opposed to if you go to the box or go to a store, buy it at midnight, bring it home, then you got to install it, then you got to patch it, and then you can play it. It could be 3:00 in the morning by the time you get around to playing it.
Yeah, and Mr. Goodbytes also made a really good point in Discord, saying that buying the game digitally basically saved his game because he almost lost it to a scratched disc. You know what I mean? So you
Mhm.
scratch your disc and you got to get a new one. You pretty much just got to make sure that you got the storage space when you're working with a digital copy. So seems to be the way things are going, man. It really
I-
does. A lot of people agree.
Do you guys think that digital is actually competing with physical, or do you think it's possible that it's taken over and surpassed it at this point, or do you think we have maybe a few years until we get there, where a majority of gamers are buying digital?
It's really hard to find stats on that kind of stuff, basically, because nobody shares their digital sales, right? Like we get the
Good point.
box sales stuff from like NPD and stuff based on
Yeah.
what Walmart reports and what how many buyers they've had and, like that, like retail outlets. But Sony doesn't like report that stuff. They don't report how many games of Fortnite they've sold. Fortnite Epic might report that, but are they blowing smoke or what? I don't know.
What the hell is Fortnite?
That's a damn good question, Beasley.
That's a really good question.
That's our first topic of the night, and I put it in the document for the show because it is the most confusing game I've played in a long time. Ultimately, it's a fun game, and I think it's worth picking up for, what is it, $40 minimum? You can spend up to $100 on it right now, and it's in early access, so it's not a cheap game. But this game is a combination of a third-person shooter, a base building game, a crafting game, a looter shooter. It's got so many different moving parts in this game that all do combine to be a really fun game with a horrible UI that I got to tell you guys, I'm actually enjoying the hell out of it. I find myself logging into this thing every day to at least check what my daily rewards are, because you don't even have to play to get daily rewards. You can just log in, check your daily rewards, and log back out. There's so many different pieces to this game. I know that Gary and Wilson have both played it. Beasley, you haven't had a chance yet, but I got to say, it's worth checking out for $40, although you do get quite a bit more for the $60 version.
Oh, really? Well,
You do.
I think we were talking pre-show of doing this for the Revolver game night, playing this on Tuesday. Is that something you guys would like to try to do?
Yeah.
I'd love that.
It's also cross-play between PC and PS4, so it doesn't matter what you play on. You can play with everybody.
Gary, we can play together.
You won't be able
So
to see me, man. You're only at 30 frames. I'll be zigzagging across your screen. Don't worry about it.
Here we go.
But
I had a
the,
chance to jump in and play the game, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy a game with RPG elements. You got like a skill tree that you can spec into that gives you, your basic stuff, attack, health, fortitude, defense, that sort of thing. And then there's also like things that you can spec into for like faster building, and there's like a bit of a grind to it as well. Like there's things that you can join up with friends and do daily missions, and if they're hosting, I saw people, they were like, Tefty was like farming it, so he would host it, they jump in, like do the daily mission, and somebody else would host it and they jump back in and like do it again. So it was kind of a way to like really help your friends out. Yeah, and they were, you get like legendary and epic loot drops and stuff. So you've got the tier system, the white, green, blue, purple, gold for all the weapons and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. Like I gotta say, I enjoy the RPG / shooting elements more than I enjoy like building stuff to defend.
So does it feel like an Uncharted style game when you play it? Is in that vein of being a third person shooter? And also the most important question I have, since I've never even seen this in action, is this a PvP or PvE type of game? Are you going against
only? PvE only.
PvE only.
It is third person shooting, like what'd you say, Last of Us? I don't even remember.
I said Uncharted.
I mean, it doesn't have the same. It's got a more arcadey and kind of easygoing atmosphere than something like that. It's very cartoony. Yeah. It's very easy to shoot things. There's a lot of auto aim. There's a lot of bullet magnetism. The challenge comes toward the sheer amount of enemies that eventually come toward you, rather than trying to get precision shots. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you said you said you can kind of build too. Can you build fortresses and stuff like that?
There's a bunch of different mission types, and a lot of them kind of end up with you having to protect a thing.
Gotcha.
Some of them you go into like just one mission, and there will be like a van that you got to protect while they like inflate a balloon so the van can fly away, and you've got to just real quick put up a fort so that these hordes of zombies that you can't necessarily shoot all at once, as they're coming and you're trying to kill them, they don't start killing your van. So there's a tower defense aspect to that, where you want to set up traps, you want to build walls that you could shoot over, you also want to build walls that they have to try and knock through to get to the objective. And then there's another type of mission where you have a persistent base, where you actually, mission after mission, go back to the same area and keep building onto this base that you started. And over time, that base gets more and more elaborate, which is actually really fun. It's weird because I feel like there's like something in here for every kind of gamer, right?
It sounds like it.
If you like Minecraft, there's something in there for you. If you like shooters, like Destiny, like looter shooters, there's something in there for you. Like there's just so much in there.
So, taking a step back from the game itself, and something that I guess that I've seen in the chat a couple of times, and something that I wanted to touch on, Epic Games are, I guess, since they've moved away from Gears of War, they've really been a free-to-play developer. That's kind of their bread and butter. Things like Paragon, the new Unreal Tournament, Shadow Complex isn't granted, but the Unreal Engine and modding, it's all free-to-play. That's their mantra. This is no different. So Fortnite itself is being developed as a free-to-play game. What we're doing is paying for an early access build, which I don't know. I don't know how we feel about that, because effectively, that if you spend $40, $60, $100 today, in less than 12 months' time, someone else is going to be playing that game completely free of charge. So how do you feel about paying early access for a game that is inevitably going to be a free game?
As long as they keep up with the game and it makes the game experience better for the players, I have no problem with that. If we went into another problem like DayZ or something, you know what I mean? Like that, they sold millions of copies of that and then just like bailed on it. And, there's rumors that it's going into beta later this year, which I'll believe it when I see it. But it's that kind of, I think that game in particular left a lot of bad taste in people's mouth with that. But lately it seems like a lot of people, like PUBG, they've been doing a really good job of taking the money that they've earned and making the experience better and delivering it quicker to the gamer. So as long as they do that, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary, you're the one who kind of brought this game to my attention. We have like a little Twitter chat that's kind of constantly moving. And so I went and I checked it out. And one of the things I realized was it was made by Epic Games, the same guys who've been making Paragon for forever. And they've been supporting that game really well. So like it kind of made me feel better about buying into early access. Their pricing structure is a little screwy. Like you can spend upwards of $100 on this game without much of a problem. I ended up going with the $60 version just to get kind of basically a head start, which I don't know if I'm really happy with that decision, because one of my biggest complaints in the early hours of this game was that it was too damn easy. And I suspect a lot of that was because I had bought that $60 version that came with more powerful weapons, and I think it even came with like better heroes right off the bat. So if I had started off with absolute zero for loot and like had to start with like the worst of guns, then I might have found there's more challenge right at the get-go, because I really breezed through the opening levels of this game.
Yeah, I bought the base edition.
Another topic that we haven't touched on as well, which I think is probably a fucking important topic on it, is that ass, man. How thick are the women in that game? This game is bringing big ladies.
Oh shit, I'm buying it right now.
They got the curves. They definitely got
the booties.
Yeah,
I'm serious, but that's the thing that keeps me playing every day, to be honest. I'm not looking at the daily rewards, I'm just looking at that ass.
Look at the Pangea, that landmass. It's just...
Hey, Gary, we might not agree on PC and consoles, but I like to call you my brother.
I will say, go ahead,
Brian.
Wilson.
No, go ahead, Brian.
One of the things that's driving me crazy about this game, and it still is after I've probably put about 12 to 16 hours into it at this point, is that the UI of the menu system is overly complex and not very well explained.
I hate that.
It's once you start getting used to it, like you just kind of instinctually know what to do, and once you get used to the fact that like, some things that seem confusing at first are just basically kind of covers for here's how you go through your RPG stats, like your damage and your HP and your tech abilities. It's all like there's like these covers for things that are unnecessarily complex, right? So as you play, you start realizing that this stuff is under there, but it's not really well explained when you get going. And even though there are tutorials, a lot of them are text-based, and if you're like me, you get bored of text really quick. You start skipping through stuff, so you're missing stuff. There's a bar of menus at the top of the screen that, every one of them's got a blinking exclamation point on it, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do next?
Convoluted menus, they turn me off quick. And I don't like to do a lot of reading playing games either, Briar. It makes me feel like I'm at work.
I think they just need to put more pictures in there for you guys. But I will say that I bought the base edition, and so I kind of had a little bit of a different experience than Briar did. Like starting out, I will say like the first mission was pretty easy, but when the first time I had to defend my base by myself, I actually barely made it through that. They almost got through my doors a few times. It's a horde of zombie, like they call it the Storm.
Oh, they're zombies.
Yeah. So it's like a horde mode where I think didn't they call it the Storm? Isn't that what they call it?
They're the creatures are called husks. So the Storm effectively created a load of zombies that kind of they wear the humans as like weird like cloaks and skins, and they've got them on. It's really cartoony though. I mean, this sort of game is, while it's a zombie horde game, you could easily give it to like an 8-10-year-old person and they wouldn't be. It's not violent.
Yeah, it's not gory.
No.
Yeah, it's Team Fortress kind of looking game more so than Overwatch.
Yeah, and I had a pretty tough time defending my base for the first time, but I also really didn't know like a whole lot of what was going on. You can also basically you build walls out of like wood, stone, or metal.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay,
you can also so you can go around, you can mine those resources from trees, cars, brick and mortar buildings. You can also make traps to put on the side of your building and on like the ceilings and stuff. So if they do kind of get in towards the area that you're protecting, they get hit by traps and stuff. So there's a lot going on. And I jumped into, I didn't get a chance to play with any friends. So any of the missions that I did, it put me in matchmaking. And I don't know, I felt like the people that I was matchmaked with, they were still trying to figure the game out. So there was a lot of exploring of the maps going on and not really playing the objective. Like everyone wanted to do the bonus side quest objectives, which might be like save survivors, find, X amount of parts, for whatever, upgrades and stuff like that. And I feel like it would be more fun if I went in with a dedicated group of 4. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With us, it would be more of a dedicated group of 4, and we could do these side objectives together. And then once you get done exploring and all that stuff, you can put this blue glow stuff into a machine, which then activates the storm, which brings in all the husks. So you can choose when the horde starts coming in at you.
The horde's coming. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Before that happens, you're kind of placed into a map, and you go out and explore the map. There's buildings, there's caves, there's kind of all sorts of stuff, and the maps aren't huge on a per level basis, but there's enough to each one so far that I feel like good about doing 10 minutes worth of just exploring. It's an interesting. It's an interesting play loop because you start off in I've learned through experience that you always got to be concerned about ammo in this game. So you really want to make sure that you're covered for ammo, so you're not looking for ammo when the horde fight actually starts. And that was really convoluted too. At no point did I ever see it explained that you needed to, hold the reload button to make ammo, right? Like I was lucky enough to be playing this on stream, so chat was walking me through a lot of stuff, right? And then you get a certain kind of survivor that you could use as a defender, and you have to give him a gun and ammo, and I couldn't figure out how to give him ammo, right? I didn't see it explained anywhere that you could, drop ammo from inside your inventory and that guy would go pick it up. So there was like stuff like that. I found it really fun once I got everything working, but it was really frustrating. There's even these 3 bars that show up in game on your UI, and those bars, one I think is for building, one is for killing, and one is for, I can't remember what the other one's for, but as you fill these up as a team, it means you're going to get better rewards at the end. But at no point is that explained what I'm looking at. What are those 3 bars? Like, how am I supposed to interpret that? Why are they filling up? Because you got to think, if you're playing this with people you've never met, you just got match made, those bars are filling up because somebody else is doing something on the other side of the map that you don't even know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the game is fun. It's a little confusing. I highly recommend if you got a friend who's already started playing with it, play with him first so he can kind of introduce you to this stuff because it's a little confusing at first.
Do you think it's possible that with the game being so convoluted, it'll turn people off before they get to that precipice where it's fun for them? Does it last that long where people are confused, you think?
I think you can get over it pretty quickly. I think at first, like, yeah, there might be a few people that are like, I tried it out, it wasn't really for me.
I know a lot of people who lack
once,
patience. Yeah, patience is.
I think once you give it time and you see how in depth it goes with, like, grinding for weapons and blueprints and things like that, it's pretty cool. It's fun. And I really like grindy games with like a RPG-esque element to it, and it's always much better. I haven't played it with friends yet, but I can tell you right now it's going to be a lot better, like being able to explore the map with friends and accomplish a lot of these goals together instead of just what's that guy over there doing. And
I think you'll get better rewards too, Wilson, because you'll be working as a team to, get those objectives done as opposed to everybody just kind of going and doing whatever. Like at one point, there's a limit to how much the game wants you to build up your fortress on a map. Like it'll say like only use like 200 pieces to build your fortress before the horde comes. And if you got 3 guys all building at the same time, that 200 gets used up really quick, and all of a sudden you're at 205, so you lose that bonus,
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this game sounds like it's something that is really only possible with modern cooperative gaming and an online infrastructure. I guess building on from that, how do we think that the internet has changed the way that we game and the way that we approach our games? Because our next topic, which is almost a seamless transition, is how has internet changed the way that you game? I thought Fortnite is a great example, because if that was a solo game, I think it'd have a very, very limited expiration date. You get bored of it very, very quickly. But the fact you can bring all 4 of your buddies in and dig in and kind of fight off the halls together makes it suddenly instantly replayable. How has internet changed gaming for you guys?
And I mean, it's a lot.
How long do we have?
Yeah, I guess to
You've
start,
got about 10 minutes, and this time I'm going to push you on it.
I guess to start, you'd have to go back and look at like how I gamed as a kid, like sofa gaming, birthday parties. Anytime you had a friend over for a sleepover was really the only time. Like I had a sister too that would play every now and then, but she didn't enjoy all the games that I did. So it was just when you had a friend and a second controller. So it's pretty limited back then. And like moving on towards, I guess, like high school, it kind of changed once like our area got high-speed internet, and I was able to do my first like Xbox Live experience with like Halo and
Ghost
stuff
Recon.
like that. Yeah, but like I guess even before that though, you look at like the original Halo, and it was really all about the LAN parties, with Quake and Doom and everybody hauling their rigs over to one place, which was strenuous, but it was, you had a good time and it was really worth it. And then
it was back in the day of CRT TVs. You weren't moving no LCD monitor.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Those things were huge. And, and then you move on towards like high school. I started getting, my Xbox 360, looked into internet, and started playing like Halo 3. And it was really like, I really only gamed with close friends that like I knew and were interested in it. But like, I also made a few friends like outside of IRL, in real life, you know what I mean? Like people over the internet that became friends that I actively would seek out to play a game with them. And then you move to currently, and I mean, it's an obvious, choice for me to pick this game, but Destiny has completely changed the way that I online game with friends. I have met friends, I mean, practically family. We talk regularly. We have a Discord. We have each other's phone numbers. We hang out in PSN chat even when we're playing different games. And to be honest, in a nutshell, the way it's changed me, I'd say it's made me become more outgoing and realize how better games are with friends and connect with people all over the world that I wouldn't even have a chance to if people have a similar mindset, How about you, Beasley?
Man, God, let me try to squeeze this out for Gary real quick. This thing for me, the internet and the way the internet has affected me has been just insurmountable because I'm an old guy. I remember playing competitive games with my brothers, and we would take like a piece of cardboard and stick it in between the screen because you didn't want people to screen watch. If you're playing like Mario Kart or something, you didn't want the person to know where you were or get the advantage on you. The internet for me, it turned my living room into the world. And that's what it's done. It's created this huge community where it used to be 3 or 4 people on a couch, exactly what you said. Now that experience has drifted out into the world. There's so many aspects of gaming that have changed. Competitive, co-op, all these things that exist now ubiquity across the world just didn't exist back then. Very few games would even try it back then. Now you can talk to people. I mean, I remember the first time I heard a person's voice on the Xbox when I had the headset in. I was like, that's really a person's voice? I couldn't believe it. I'm an old guy. I used to have, dial-up internet. I know what it's all about. I know how it all started. For me, it's just been an amazing thing to watch. My kids are growing up in the era of PS4, and everything is just so easy. Yeah, I grew
We're
up in the
probably
era.
the last generation that'll remember a world without internet, right?
Probably, Brian. I mean, it's so funny thinking about the future. Now the parents are the ones teaching the kids how to game. When we grew up, Brian, our parents thought it was a complete waste of time, if that. They never did it, and it's like everything has changed around this culture of gaming. And I think that being able to go online and meet people, like Wilson said, and environments and communities like Destiny, meet real, tangible, and have meaningful relationships with people that you would have never had this opportunity to before. The internet changed everything. It changed it for all of us. I think it's been an amazing thing to see.
That's where I met all you guys.
That's something we take for granted, really, man. I mean, we really do take it for granted. We met each other online, pretty much all of us. Some of us met playing video games. Some of us met on YouTube, but the internet
really turned our living. I was reaching under the stall for some toilet paper at a Gas and Go.
He was right next to you.
And I was like, I got you.
It was, friendship made in heaven ever since.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's heaven, bro, but it's probably close.
I met Briar on a website. I think it was bearsfortwinks.com.
That was a good one.
Familiar.
Yeah, I was just looking for someone to hold me tightly and tell me they love me, and he fit the bill.
It is.
I'm happy you guys got friendly.
I mean, I've got a much more succinct answer, really, from the way modern internet's changed my gaming. I've got like 3 monitors. And the biggest thing the internet's changed in mine is at least 2 of them are filled at any one time with copious amounts of hardcore pornography. So that's really been the biggest change for me, is that I get my game plus distractions. But yeah, I think you guys summed that up nicely. I think
I didn't even get to talk about it yet.
No, I'm not moving on. I'm just sort of building on their points.
He said, "Fuck you, bro."
Man, listen, I get one gag. I don't even get to make a real point. It's terrible. The Yoko of the show. So my view on it is that the internet has made games viable that just wouldn't be viable. And we spoke about Fortnite being one of them. Like, before the internet, you had arcade games and games that were designed to be played local co-op. Beat 'em ups, things like Streets of Rage, Double Dragon, things that were Gauntlet. Games that were designed to be played 2 people in the same room there. The internet has made games possible that just wouldn't be feasible games anywhere else. Things like Werewolves Within, which you spoke around on VR. Like, that's not going to work if there's 4 of you sitting around a TV in the same room. It's not something that has that capacity to do it. I think the anonymity of having remote locations has really been, just allowed games to flourish that wouldn't be considered games. Evolve and things like that. I suppose you could probably play Evolve in the same room. You wouldn't want to, but you could play in the same room.
We just wouldn't want to play Evolve.
Yeah, you just wouldn't play it full stop. What do you think, Brian? You may be able to.
For me, there always has been like, gaming like togetherness, right? But it was a local thing. It was, my friends came over and we'd have 4-player Halo, matches and be laughing and hitting each other and giggling the whole time. And then as I grew up and, obviously, friends started getting families and, moving further distances, that became less of a thing. So gaming became much more of a solitary experience where I'd sit down and I'd play a single player experience for, 8 hours. Maybe I'd jump online. I did a lot of Halo 2, Halo 3 online stuff, and I really enjoyed that, but it was never as much fun as playing with my friends, right? Like, knowing that I just, did something, like shot one of my friends, was ultimately much more a satisfying experience. Having that personal experience was much better than just randomly shooting a guy in the face online.
Absolutely.
And that's so how true. It stayed for me for years and years, because of the games I was playing and because of the games that really spoke to me as the most fun games, like Call of Duty, like Halo, or as just competitive shooters, the community aspect of those games never appealed to me at all. From what I saw, it was mostly just,
assholes?
Dick measuring contests, And I just like to get on there. I like to have some fun and then log off. Destiny changed that for me, and I suspect that this is an experience that Gary's actually been having for a very long time, playing WoW and like MMO guys have been having for a very long time is because Destiny brought us together and made us work together. Then all of a sudden we started forming friendships, right? Is like getting people together and working toward a raid as a 6-man team. You can't help but start forming some bonds inside that fire team, even if you just got together for an hour or two off a LFG. Like by the end of it, you often know the personalities of each one of your squad mates. It's amazing thing. That never happened to me in Call of Duty.
I'd say that in Destiny, you've actually experienced more than that. So coming off the MMO bandwagon, MMOs bring a lot of people together, and you have really vibrant and really lit guild chats or clan chats, that are on there. But in reality, you don't get to know the people you're playing with any more than they're just like a number on the damage meter. I mean, you got to think in Destiny, the raids are 6 people, so everyone's got a relatively predominant place, to talk. But vanilla World of Warcraft, they were 40-man raids. You can't have 40 people on a mic; it's chaos. So there'd be a raid leader, maybe 1 or 2 other people that were like could talk, and everyone else was just text chat, and they were focused with doing what they were doing. So for me, Destiny's been the sweet spot where it stripped it back and made it more about the person, the fire team, and the people that you meet and you form relationships with. I think Destiny's in a very, very odd spot. I think Bungie kind of caught lightning in a bottle with it in terms of the community aspect. I think that's why they're doubling down on it for Destiny 2. PC's definitely had the community games, but none of them have captured a community that Destiny has. I think it stands alone in that space.
You nailed it with lightning in a bottle. I think that was perfect.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's made games more fun to me. Now I don't want to play. I love PUBG. Playing PUBG solo is fun. Playing PUBG with Beastly, Gary, and Wilson is a ton of fun because we're laughing the whole time. When the game's boring, the game's not boring because we're making fun of somebody for some dumb shit, right? Where, like, oh, you drove into a tree, there's always something we can be laughing about or talking about. So, like, it's come back to playing with your friends. It's a social experience as opposed to a solo experience. It's less like reading a book and more like going to see a movie, with your friends. It's become a community thing, and to me, much better than it ever has been in the past. Gaming is more fun to me than it has been in the last 15 years since I used to sit on the couch with 3 of my best friends playing Halo.
Yeah, I mean, back when we were growing up, video games were fun, but it's grown to a point now where it's, and at least in my opinion, the number one form of entertainment in my life and in my family's life. I mean, just look at this. The simple fact, Briar, is I've known you now for almost 4 years. We've never met face to face and shook hands.
Hard years on Beastly. He's aged a lot in those 4 years. But knowing me for that long is not easy.
It's rough.
But just look how I'm saying all the time we spent together and the things we've done together playing video games, you and Wilson, you and Gary. The internet allows that, and I think the future is even brighter. Great example you used earlier, Gary, Werewolves Within. That's a very special kind of experience. And it would only work to me online. You're sitting around a table with people you never met before, actually carrying on a conversation, and it feels so natural and feels so special at the same time because it's taking place through the magic of the internet. I think the internet's here to stay, guys. I don't think anyone's going to pull the cord or pull the plug on the internet and send us back to the old days of the NES. It's going to get better, man.
I don't want to get into it, he says.
I know where you're going with this shit, bro. You better stay off. Leave him alone.
They just want you to use it less in their way.
Right?
They don't want to take it away. They just want you to pay more for it.
Look, let's
go to the
keep
sites they want you to go to.
Can we just keep net neutrality on the conversation, please? I think we should move on to our next topic, because I think we've kind of exhausted that. What do we think about the stern look that Briar's giving us on his frozen webcam, and 2, the low cost of PC gaming? What do we think about it?
Can I just talk about Briar's frozen webcam?
I know,
He's
it's
making the
very
same
stern.
face for a long fucking time. It's
I
great.
feel like he's staring into my soul. I feel like he sees what's on my web history. Like, look at that look.
Yeah,
That's the look of a man who's just...
it's so crazy. And the thing that's really intimidating is when he starts to talk, it goes full screen, and he's really staring at you then. Like, holy shit.
I know.
It's a
Brian, do you want to
strategy.
take the lead on this one, or are you going to be?
We got to
frantically
talk
plugging
about
and
your
unplugging
Skype
your-
settings if I'm going full stream, Beasley.
I don't know what to
We
tell
got to
you,
fix
man.
that shit. I don't have the document pulled up, Gary.
Okay, then I'll lead there. Briar's introduced a topic for us this week around the low cost of PC gaming. Really, I guess PC gaming in the past has always been seen as, at least by, filthy elitists by myself, as the reign of the prestigious. We don't allow the console peasants in. We've got our doors closed. We're all about frame rates, high resolutions, etc. But I guess within the past 12 to 18 months, there's been a relative stagnation of technology, and it's led to the technology dropping in price and games becoming much more affordable to play on the PC. $400, just plug in Briar's latest video. If you haven't checked it, hit the Briar Rabbit channel up for a $400 Destiny 2 build. Briar put a video out for a Destiny 2 PC that hits the minimum specs for the game for $400, which is less than the cost of the upcoming Xbox One X. So with PC gaming being affordable within the kind of the price range of the console player, notice I said player there, not peasant, I was being generous. What do we think about PC gaming now being accessible to one and all?
Now, I didn't get a chance to see this video, and I'm definitely going to check it out. You guys make sure you do too, if you hadn't. Now, this $400 PC that you showed in your video, Briar, does it allow you to play Destiny at 60 frames, or would it be 30?
If I explain the video, why would you go watch it?
You're absolutely right. I'll go watch the video now. God damn
Good
it.
point.
No, the Destiny or Bungie released the minimum specs for what a Destiny 2 capable PC would be, and they were much lower than I think anybody had anticipated. They were really low specs. So they did 4 sets of specs, 2 with older hardware and 2 with brand new hardware. So I took the minimum recommended specs for the brand new hardware and priced it out on PC Part Picker, and it came down to $404.81.
Does that
to get
include a
to
monitor?
build? No, but you probably have a TV that you can hook it up to. If you're really that cash strapped that you can't afford a monitor, in addition to that, you can easily hook this thing up to the same TV that you plug your PlayStation into or your Xbox into. It also doesn't come with a mouse and keyboard, so you'll probably have to, beg, borrow, or steal, to get a mouse and keyboard. But what's interesting about it is that it's the same price as a PlayStation 4 Pro, and it's $100 less than an Xbox One X. So for me, it brings up a very interesting option for a lot of gamers who are being enticed by playing Destiny 2 in 4K, 30 frames per second. They have a PlayStation 4, and they're thinking, do I want to buy a PlayStation 4 Pro for Destiny 2? Mm-hmm. I have an Xbox One. Do I want to buy an Xbox One X for Destiny 2? The interesting thing about this PC is that, no, it's not a high-end PC, but it's going to get you into the PC gaming sphere, right? It's going to give you access to Steam. It's going to give you access to, all these PC games that you previously didn't have access to. So theoretically, you keep your PlayStation 4 or you keep your Xbox, and then in addition, you buy into an entirely new platform instead of just buying into or re-upping in a platform that you already own. So with the PlayStation 4 Pro, you buy that, and now the games that you already own look better. You can keep your PlayStation 4, buy into a PC, and get access to a whole new world of games. But you don't lose out on the PlayStation 4 ecosystem. You just don't get the Pro upgrade.
Exactly. I can confirm this because that's exactly what I did. I was looking into getting a PS4 Pro for the release of Destiny 2. And shout outs to Great American Hero in the chat. He hooked me up. He was going to build a new PC that he dubbed Skynet. And he wanted to sell me his old PC parts, or basically his old computer. So I jumped on it, and I don't regret it. Like, I had done PC gaming. A lot of my stuff was outdated. I couldn't do a lot of the new games and have them run at playable optimal performance, and I don't regret the decision one bit. I've had a blast. You get access to thousands of games that you normally wouldn't, and the Steam community is growing. A lot of people are jumping on this. I don't really want to call it the bandwagon, but I got a lot of friends that have moved over to PC recently and have been having a great time. And it's not permanent, like you said, Briar. The PlayStation's there. Your friends list is there. You know, you can jump on there and play whatever games you want. You know, I was just playing Borderlands last night with my girlfriend and some Tower Life buddies, you know, and the experience is always there. So why limit yourself to your experiences and just grab a PC and check it out?
Quick question, Briar. This $400 build, do you think, like, if you were to theorize, is it possible this thing can do VR?
No.
No, okay. I'm thinking if it's close in power to the PS4, then possibly, but of course the HTC Vive and stuff is more powerful than the PSVR.
I mean, you
Like,
can
it
get
might do it.
$600 VR builds, but that you're really scraping the barrel. If you want good performance in VR, you need a better kit.
Yeah.
You know, some of the VR games require much, you know, higher tech. So I think it's Lone Echo. Lone Echo? Is that a thing? Whatever it is, Echo something. A new game that's just come out in the Oculus that requires a 1080 to play. So, you know, there's degrees of VR as to what you want, but that probably not. Even if it could run a game, you probably would struggle to maintain the 90 frames per second that you'd need.
Yeah, this is gonna be a PC for $400. Is gonna be a PC that gets you low to medium settings in games at, you know, hopefully 60 frames per second. You know, this thing is not a hot rod. It's
Gotcha.
It's getting you into the ecosystem.
Get your foot in the door.
Yeah, you get your foot in the door. You can start playing games with your friends on PC. You also get the added benefit of having this huge back catalog of games that you've never played. If you've never experienced the Steam store, there is an incredible amount of games on there that are very, very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can start playing games right away for $2 or $3 for, you know, games that were AAA titles 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good free games on there too. So I mean, you can start playing immediately. I mean, Team Fortress 2 is a free game, I believe. Like, I think it comes pre-installed with it, if I'm not mistaken. But
I mean, Paladins is a great title, and while it's PS4, you get it with PC control. Another thing that I'd say can't be understated is mouse and keyboard input, which doesn't work on all genres, but certainly for the first-person shooter is almost undeniably the best way to play it. You know, it's just the precision that you get with a mouse and keyboard you can't replicate with a controller. And I know games like Destiny are built around a controller, but that's just, you know, liberal use of aim assist to make a controller feel competent. For me, I think that, as Brian said, that $400 price tag to get you access to that style of gaming is great. And RTS games, ARPG games that are really low demand, things like Diablo or Pillars of Eternity or Path of the Exile. But those sorts of games, a huge Baldur's Gate, all these click games that don't really work very well on a controller, immediately you've got the capability to play. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see any excuse for people to say, I am a console gamer, I don't like PC. You know, you can run a PC, all of these, like Brian said, you can run on a TV. So whatever you're playing your PlayStation on, arguably you could plug the PC into if you really want.
That being said, though, I completely hate PCs. I cannot stand them.
That being said,
I really do. I've been really like hardcore using a PC now for like the last year, and like I can't tell you the amount of frustration it's given me with drivers.
Really?
Like, why are drivers still a fucking thing on the PC side when they've totally gotten rid of it on the Mac side? Why do I still have to install DLLs, and why is there still a registry, and why is there still Windows rot, and like why are these things so fucking unreliable? Okay, rant over. Topic for another day.
I just wanted to say to you, first of all, thank you for sending me that code for Hard Reset. It's the best playing game on my computer. It outperforms anything I've ever seen on this computer. I couldn't believe how fast it was. And, you know, at the highest settings, I had to take this into the living room and show my wife. She was like, oh my God, it had to be doing 70, 80 frames per second.
That's a 6-year-old game, by the way, as well.
Well, fuck you too, Gary. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you for sending me that code, because it was really an enlightening experience playing that, and it felt so different than anything I played on a console just because of the speed alone. So it was a kind of a special experience for me, because I got this $1,200 giant weight of a laptop that I wish I had talked to Brian about before I spent my money, because I would have $800 to buy my wife thongs.
I would have told you to buy a Mac.
$100 worth of thongs. It's either a lot of cheap thongs or one very expensive thong.
Damn, that's a
Quality
great
or
question.
quantity?
I mean,
Quality or
price
quantity?
to panty ratio on a thong as well is way off. I've always found because you can get the big old, the big
No.
ass kind of
No.
grey looking nana kind of underwear for half
No.
the price of a thong, and a thong's just effectively string and a bit of
It's a
fabric. You don't
string.
really.
Yeah. That's all I want. Just thongs. Yeah.
I'm just surprised you guys call them thongs and not something more elaborate.
Tangas or G strings.
What do you
I don't
call
know.
them?
No, that's what I was saying about Gary. I was like, I'm surprised, they call him thongs over there because he's always got a better word for everything. I've called him a
Yeah.
walking thesaurus.
No, we're absolutely filthy in the Europe. Like, don't worry about us.
All right, so that was Briar's topic. We're moving on to the next topic, which is the Lawbreakers beta, which is something I briefly played. We talked about it pre-show, and we wanted to give our first impressions. Playing on PC versus console is also something that's available and capable in this game. Gary, would you like to get us started? Because I believe you played the most of this beta, Lawbreakers. What do you think of it?
So I played the alpha, I played the closed beta, and I played the open beta on it. So I've seen
Wow.
the evolution of the game go through. I'm a big fan of Cliffy B as a developer. Would he be a developer? Yeah, I guess he would be
Yeah,
a developer.
yeah.
As a big fan of him, the stuff that he produced, the early stuff that he did with Gears, I really like the bombastic, over-the-top action games that are kind of, they don't take themselves too seriously, and they're all about player skill and rewarding player skill. So Lawbreakers itself is designed to take the Overwatch kiddies and just bend them over a table, and that's kind of what it does persistently for like the whole time you play it. So the games
true.
are super fast, the matches are super long. It can snowball really quickly. You can die if you're poorly positioned or have bad aim. And there's very, very little incentive to play as a team. It's all about lone wolf in it, which all of those things really appeal to me. That's kind of like a game perfectly built for me. The game, I guess the way to describe it if you've not played it is Titanfall meets Unreal Tournament if they were both snorting a lot of coke before they came out into the arena.
So true, yes.
It's like super fast, super aggressive. You really need verticality, wall running. It's arguably a hero shooter because there are tanks, quote unquote, support, melee, ranged heavies. But that being said, it's not a hero shooter in the way Overwatch is. So any class can easily outplay any other class. 1v1 anyone. Whereas in Overwatch, if you're Tracer going against Roadhog, you're going to have a hard time no matter how good you are at Tracer. I mean, it's possible, but it's difficult. Or, there's obviously other counters there. But for me, Lawbreakers just, it felt sweet.
So I haven't played nearly as long as you, but are you saying there's really no Achilles heel to certain characters? It's just all skill-based in this versus the way that Overwatch kind of sets it up? Each character has their own Achilles heel and another character?
Wilson might have some other views on it as well, playing PC too. But my view was, no, there's certain classes that are more geared to take on other classes. But on a whole, as long as you're skilled and you're capable with your class,
You have a chance, okay.
Yeah, you have. More than a chance. Wraith, which Wilson and I had dirty Wraith mains, which is kind of like being a Hanzo main in Overwatch. Wraith is, again, kind of like a Titanfall 2 pilot on acid. It's like Titanfall 2 pilot to the extreme, and that thing just runs circles around everyone. It's got like a katana blade, SMGs. If a guy's a tank, you can just outmaneuver them. If a guy's got heavy weapons, you can move around them. If they're an assassin, you can keep range on them. Again, you can outplay people no matter what class they are. I don't know, Wilson, did you find that?
Yeah, it's really good. I will say, what's the class with the robot that can put up like the Titan wall, like how they do now? Do you know the name of that class? He's a little
Juggernaut,
robot.
is it?
Juggernaut. He's definitely lives up to his name. Like, they're more of the tanky, more defensive. He can throw up a wall and things like that. The thing I like the most about the Wraith is that, and this is really with all characters, movement speed and movement ability is crucial. So with the Wraith, you have a slide. Instead of holding shift to sprint, your guy slides on the ground, sort of like Titanfall. And then you have a triple jump, like Bones of Ao, where you can like jump 3 times. And by the time that gives you momentum as you go along. And by the time you hit the ground again, your slide has recharged, so you can slide back in, triple jump out. So
I gotta try this character.
It's really all about kicking off walls, moving around. Like Gary said, just outmaneuvering, outclassing. Like if you know that you're going up against a Juggernaut, that you're going to get some damage on him, and he's going to throw up a wall and throw down a defensive position. And there's certain areas, mostly the center of the map, has an extremely low amount of gravity. So when you pass through sort of a red-looking overshield, you know that you're going into a really low gravity area. So these, I don't know if you've seen the trailer or whatever, the cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
It's just like that. People
Flying
through the
everywhere.
sky.
Yeah.
You know, there's a chick that's kind of like Pharah from Overwatch, but she's got a minigun instead of a rocket. She even does like a death from above where she like hits the ground with like a Titan smash and stuff. And you get a couple abilities. The Wraith I really like. He almost does like a Warlock melee, but it shoots out all these little like purple subsonic rings, and it slows everyone down. So a game that is primarily based on movement speed and movement ability, you have now nerfed their number one asset. And that's what I think Wraith really comes in. It's on like a 60-second cooldown, so you can't just spam it. It's not like a traditional melee. It's an actual ability. And Wraith is really Wraith was the first character I picked, and I have probably put not as much as Gary, maybe about 4 or 5 hours into the game, and I haven't played any other character. Like Wraith feels incredibly strong. But Gary had said it was a little bit of Unreal Tournament meets what did you say it was, Gary?
He said Titanfall.
Yes,
meets
Titanfall meets Unreal Tournament. I think to me, it has an old school Quake feel of movement, of really fast, smooth movement, and with a little bit of an Overwatch feel of the fact that you have options for different, they're not called heroes in this game, but like in Overwatch, they're called heroes. So there's lots of options out there for everyone, and you can have multiple Wraiths on one team. Yeah. So it's not like Overwatch in a sense where when you pick a character or a character type, like, that's
someone else can do it. Yeah. Well,
right.
My wife and I played this. I played for the first time yesterday, but today we played for about 2 hours together. The character I played with the most was the Assassin, which is a female who's kind of an up-close melee character, but she also has an SMG, and she's able to kind of teleport through the air 3 times. My takeaway from this game is the speed just kind of blew me away. When I spent so much time playing Overwatch, it reminded me of Overwatch, but after playing it, seeing the visual aesthetic, the characters, and the way that they've kind of built the gameplay around these characters, it feels like an adult version of Overwatch to me. Now I feel like going back to Overwatch is kind of a step in the wrong direction because of the speed, the verticality, the different ways of playing. And I can't wait for this game. Honestly, I've been downloading betas all week. So I've been playing, I forget the name of the zombie game, Dead Alliance. I've been playing that. But Lawbreakers is the one that kind of caught me off guard. I really like that game. I'd love to get in there and play with you guys if we had a chance. It seems pretty damn awesome, and that will definitely be one of the games I pick up.
I think it's ending today, maybe, for PC.
I thought it was tomorrow. I could be wrong about that. I mean, it was tomorrow.
It's quite unapologetic in how, I guess, the demand it puts on you as a player. So my criticisms of the game, and they still haven't been addressed. Not that Cliffy B's waiting on the phone for my criticisms anyway, but the things that I've been asking for.
Hello, is this Gary? I gotta wait for Gary.
Let's address it right there.
I know. Can we stop the podcast? Cliff's on the phone. The things I've been asking for is I feel that it almost feels too weathering. If you're playing at a very, very high level, the match times are intentionally a little bit too long. So the match times they set at about 20 minutes if they run to time.
Wow.
And 20 minutes at that speed, I mean, best way to describe it is, when you're playing Tracer on Overwatch, this feels like Tracer at 200% speed. Yeah. So Tracer's slow in comparison with this game. You're moving very, very quickly. The kills and the frags are coming fast. There's really precision aim required because there's very little to no aim assist as far as I can tell on the PC version. You can blind fire behind you as a maneuver if people are chasing you. As Wilson said, the amount of zero-G and verticality there is in the game is unprecedented. You're constantly up at 100 foot, 200 foot above where you're playing to, and you're moving around. It's weathering. If you're playing that for 20-minute games and trying to play it at that level, that high level of play for 20 solid minutes, it's tiring. And the game isn't very welcoming to new players. You can go into a match and you can die 20 times, 30 times and get no kills.
Well,
what's a reward system like? Like what?
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that's
Overwatch
important.
has, like boxes to open. Like
This
we're
has
getting
the
kind of
same
used
thing.
to.
Same thing.
Yeah.
This
Same
is the
thing.
same thing.
You've got
Skins.
character skins,
Tons of those.
weapon skins, weapon stickers, player emblems, and then there's like a footprint. Like if you like some characters have like a melee,
Yeah.
like a traditional melee is their actual attack, but there's a
If
key
it
that you
kills
can
you-
hit. There's a key that you can hit where you're. I remember if you like
You bring your
kick in the
feet
old
up,
Duke
yeah.
Nukem, the old Duke Nukem games where you could kick. That's what it looks like, and you can unlock these different footprints that you leave when you kick stuff and kick people. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of customization with the loot drops. So I'm not quite exactly sure how I obtained them. I mean, I'm sure by leveling up or maybe completing challenges, but at the end of every game, I was having in the beta 1 to 2 of those loot boxes open up, and you get 4 drops out of every box.
Wow.
Similar to Overwatch. And I got some pretty cool weapon skins, man, for my Wraith. I was pretty stoked about that. And it gives you the, I believe you said it best one time, that little dopamine drip of excitement when you get a good drop, and then, oh, it's for my character. Or if it's anything like Overwatch, it'll never be anything
Never.
for Hanzo.
God,
Never
I
get a
mean,
Hanzo skin.
I kind of feel
That's
like
the
with-
universe telling you to stop playing Hanzo.
I don't listen.
I feel like with Lawbreakers, though, it's the cosmetic aspect of it is less important. At least to me, it was more about the skill and beating people and just
Totally.
being dominant on the map. Like I didn't care what I looked like. I didn't care if I got a gun with like smoke 420 cannabis leaves all over it. Like whatever. I don't really care.
I do.
Hey, tell him again, Wilson.
That's like my favorite skin. That's the one I got. No, I'm kidding.
But for me, it was just that's the sort of game again where you're going to get people that are very, very dominant, assert their dominance all over a map, and I think it's going to put a lot of people off that are used to games like Destiny and Overwatch that are very forgiving in their aim. You've got characters like Mei and Mercy that anyone can pick up and play, and Symmetra.
Right.
This game has nothing like that. It all requires precision aim, and it requires you to know the recoil pattern, the firing pattern of the weapons, the distances that the weapons are effective. They don't explain any of that. So like
Yeah.
Wraith, for example, has an SMG that if you hold fire it for more than about 4 or 5 rounds, the spread, the bloom on it just blooms to half the screen. And if you use it at anything more than 45, 50 meters, you have to shoot maybe 1 or 2 bullets from a shot. The idea is that you get close, you spray someone down, and then you finish with a melee, but they don't explain that to you. It's a game that is brutal in its treatment of new players, and Cliff has designed it in that way. He wants it to be a hardcore shooter that harkens back to the old days.
So they're not even targeting like a mass audience here. They're really just targeting the most hardcore of the sweatiest of the sweat community.
I believe so. Like that
Unreal
was.
tournament players.
I think he nailed it. Like I didn't like have. At any point in time during that beta, I did not feel like my hand was being held or anything was being explained to me. It's like you should know how to play capture the flag. You should know how to play capture points. You should know how to, similar to capture the flag, you got to grab a battery, bring it back to your base, charge it up. So you basically bring it back to your base and defend it. No, you got to know all these things and all the different characters. I really do think that they cater to players in a sense that the amount of different characters you can play, I do believe that there's a character there for every play style that you want to play. Something else too, been meaning to ask you guys, did you guys feel that with that zero gravity, I thought was really interesting because I found ways around the map using that triple jump and the zero gravity areas that I don't think were intended. There's all these different flank routes and stuff that you can get. And like Gary said, it is very much like catered to, you should know what the hell you're doing in a first person shooter by now.
After he said that, I 100% agree with you, Gary. And it's something that, passively I thought about. I didn't really actively think about it. The game is very difficult. It has a high learning curve for people who've never played these types of games. And there was no tutorial. There was no explanation. You just pick a character, they drop you in, and you go. So that was something that you said that is 100% true. But I got two things I want to talk about real quick about this. Lawbreakers, my first impressions when I first saw the game, when I first saw the cinematic trailer, I was thinking I wouldn't like it because I didn't like Advanced Warfare. I didn't like characters ping-ponging around in Advanced Warfare, how, the boost system, I forget the system that they used where you had on these suits and you were shooting around the map. Briar, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
I really thought that this game would feel like that. but it doesn't at all. It just feels like a smooth evolution of what we've kind of been going towards. And my second question, or at least my thought on it, is that this game is going to be PS4 cross-play with PC. Do you think that that's fair? Do you guys think they're going to change anything?
Before you get to that question, I want to just address the problem with Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, was that they added a new movement system in a game where the maps were still designed for the old movement system. There's been games with wild vertical movement for going back to Tribes, the first one I could remember, and they worked. The problem was the maps weren't fucking at all designed for it. It didn't feel like anyway. I'm sorry. Go ahead to your second part.
Great point, Brian. My second point is this game is going to be crossplay with PS4 and PC. Do you guys think they're going to? Am I correct in that assumption, Gary?
I don't think it is. No, I think our point there was about what's it like playing on console versus PC. Because to me, it feels like a game that you couldn't play on console. Period. You may have a different experience to me. I've got stupid thumbs and I can't play controller. To me, this game required such precision aim with a mouse. You know, I took hours to get it right. Once you nail it, you nail it. But I couldn't deliver that level of precision with a controller. I don't know.
Is there auto aim on the PlayStation?
Don't know.
It might be a little bit. I mean, to me, it felt really good. And I felt like it was me controlling the direction of the little reticle. But I mean, it's probably a little bit. It's a console game. Usually they put a little bit in there. So.
Yeah, like tutorial aside and stuff, like actually like getting kills and stuff like that on console, did it feel like, I don't want to say like easier because you didn't play it on PC, but did it feel like, I guess you kind of said it, you felt like you were the one in control. It wasn't you were missing all over the place.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I played another game, Dead Alliance, which is the beta is available now too. I think it'll be over this weekend as well. That didn't feel nearly as precise in the aiming. My wife and I played that, and we both agree, we really don't like this. It'll probably take some time to get used to it, aiming and getting the shot precisely where you want it. But it didn't feel that way with Lawbreakers. I felt like it was just a smooth transition from what you've learned over the years playing first-person shooters on consoles, and it felt great. It's fast. And
did you play Overwatch on PS4?
Yeah, I play it on PS4 all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know you told me play it on PC. You guys see me.
A lot of people enjoy it on PS4. For some reason, it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
you guys see me on PUBG, and you see how horrible I am. Imagine me playing Overwatch on PC. It'd be a wrap.
PUBG is going to come to the console. Like, I don't even know how that's going to work. Like,
how's that going to play?
I'm so excited. You guys have no idea how fucking happy I am about that.
I'm just wondering if there's like how it's going to feel on a controller versus a keyboard. Because I'll tell you right now, like at first, it felt very, very clunky. Like when the game first came out, they have been doing things to make it a little bit more fluent and like feel a little bit better. But as time has gone on, and certain keystrokes I don't have to think about anymore. Not even necessarily where they're at, but like what keystroke does what action. It's become a lot more smooth, you know. And I watch. Me and Briar got a friend, Sweep, who's in chat. You watch him play, and his movement speed is very fluent. I mean, it's just about getting comfortable with the keyboard. I'm wondering how it's actually like not going to play. Like, yeah, there'll probably be a little bit of aim assist, but I want to know how it's going to feel on a controller after I've spent months and months on a keyboard. Well, that's what I'm really.
Let me just say this. I've dabbled with the PS4 on Steam playing PUBG. It actually works pretty well, but I think my settings were a little too high, so I was getting a little bit, of frame difference. It wasn't the frame rate that I wanted, and so it actually controlled pretty well, but the fact that I wasn't getting the frames that I wanted, I was getting killed before I had an opportunity to actually pull out and do what I needed to do. I think my PC is the problem.
One of the things about playing, I don't really have a preference playing a shooter on PC or on console. If it's done right on console, it can feel just as good as it does on PC with a mouse and keyboard. Like, I think that Destiny feels awesome, and it's really fun to play with a controller. And I don't really care, when it does come out for PC and I'm sitting there grinding strikes, you can bet I'll be leaning back in my chair with my feet up on the table running with a controller.
Yep.
But
on PC?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In PUBG, what's weird is that we're playing a version of the game that has zero aim assist, and you need aim assist to make a shooter feel good. Like if you ever play a game on a controller that has 0 aim assist for your like friendly fire guys, like, and you're trying to shoot one of your friends who's running around, and it's got 0 aim assist with a controller, it's really freaking hard to hit him. But then you try and shoot an enemy, and you lock right on, and it's easy to shoot them, right? Like it's a significant hard thing to do without aim assist, and because so many of those firefights are happening so far away, like how do they do aim assist when your enemy is literally like a quarter mile away? You know,
That's a good point.
Eh?
That's a really good point. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be. I mean, I'm gonna check it out for sure. Like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, I got some friends that I don't have a chance to play PUBG with on PC, so definitely gonna be getting it for Xbox, at least if anything, just to see how it plays.
I mean, while you guys are playing PUBG and Xbox, it's a good chance for me to catch up on World of Warcraft as well. So, you know, we both win.
I don't feel like you need to catch up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like you're
like
behind.
I feel like the world needs to catch up to you.
Gary was telling us how many hours he's got in World of Warcraft the other day.
How many
Me and
hours was
Wilson
that,
were just
Gary?
like, oh my God.
I think we added up this week, and it's definitely about 11. It must be at least 11,000 hours. Must be.
My wife calculated it out to be like, on average, like some retarded amount of hours per day. And obviously, like, you're skipping days. You're probably skipping months without going on playing it.
Yeah.
But your like average per day hourly is like, I can't remember what it was. It was like 3 hours a day or something over the last 10 years.
What, since it, I mean, well, that's the thing. And when I was playing WoW properly, when I say properly, like, you know, religiously, during Burning Crusade, Vanilla, Wrath of the Lich King, I was easily doing 12 to 14-hour days, easily. There's no qualms there. You know, and then there was the all-nighters, and there was the LAN parties, then there was the raid learning. But I mean, nowadays I'll still do about, if I'm playing a World of Warcraft session, I'll still do at least 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. You have to.
Wow.
Well, we were talking about, Briar was like, you know what, maybe we should, Wilson. Maybe we should download it, get on there one night, check it out, let's see what it's all about. And then Gary dropped his hours, and Briar goes, you know what, on second thought, fuck that. Fuck that.
I was purely thinking it'd be funny to just, you know, get me and Wilson in there, like, because I played, I don't know, 6 hours of World of Warcraft when the game first launched, and I was like,
Same.
yeah, this isn't for me, this is boring. And I haven't touched it since, so I thought it'd be kind of fun, you know, to get us two noobs in there and just have Gary get angry at us for not knowing anything after he's put, you know, 100,000 hours into the game.
I could see us attacking something off that we're way too underleveled for, and he's got to come in and save our ass or something.
Right, I thought it'd be a fun stream to watch for the
Would be
viewer.
funny.
It wouldn't be fun for Gary, but it would be fun for everybody else.
I'll be down. So I've got my my Illidan Stormrage chair adornment there. This is my hoodie. So for anyone who's a WoW nerd, they'll be right down with that hoodie that I've got there. But no, it's, yeah, I mean, for me, it's a sense of nostalgia that World of Warcraft gives. It brings me back to being 14, 15 years old again, you know, 15 years ago, and playing MMOs for the first time. And I think WoW dropped 2004, 2005, and I was already playing things like Anarchy Online, Dark Age of Camelot, Legend of Mir, Neocron, you know, like a whole range of Sheeran's Call 2, Ultima Online. I've grown up on MMOs. I was a PC gamer. Like, I'm not a console gamer. I keep stating that. Like, I'm a Destiny gamer, but I'm not a console gamer.
Nobody's perfect, Gary. Nobody's
And
perfect.
I think that's why WoW tugs at my nostalgia strings. Talking about nostalgia, this has been the year of nostalgia, hasn't it, really, for us? Our next topic is nostalgia marketing. And why are we such suckers for nostalgia? Get that fucking toaster away from us. Look at the thing that he pulls up. For those that are in the audio thing, Beastie's trying to peddle this Chinese hunk of shit that he keeps bringing out week after week. But no one cares about, that he keeps showing us. He's made videos on it on his YouTube channel.
Imagine a shoebox with an NES cartridge sticking out of it.
I'm okay with it. I love that thing, but Gary just keeps tearing it down.
Kills it, don't he?
Starting with fake Vita, and then what was it? Toaster Chinese piece of shit.
Wait, why you gotta be so evil, Gary?
It
What
just
was made in
immediately triggers
Taiwan?
me. It's the two styles of plastic on it. They couldn't even source enough red plastic to finish the job. It's just like,
It's evil. You're fucking mean, okay?
Look how thick it is.
It's huge. Look at this. You know it's big when it makes a Vita look like that.
It's two Game Gears glued together. That's all it is.
2 Game Gears. with an even worse battery life. If you
I
can
mean, for
imagine
the
that.
audio-only listeners, Beastly's found something in like a dumpster from like 10 years ago with an SNES cartridge stuck in the back, and he's claiming it's the next generation of handhelds. We disagree.
Okay, Gary, I'm putting it away. God damn it.
The room has spoken. Fake
The,
news.
Back to the topic of nostalgia. Why do we think that we're such suckers for it?
This
Like, why do we
isn't
keep
this
buying the
isn't
same
just limited to gaming, right? This is happening. This happens in all forms of life. It's why, like, when VH1 does we love the 80s, or we love the 70s, or CNN does like a retrospective on the 60s and 70s. This is why this stuff is popular, because for people who lived through those time periods, a lot of them have very fond memories of that time period, right? Like, they were
Good
kids
old
at the
days.
time, and you know, there's a lot of joy when you're a kid that you look back fondly and remember. And when somebody brings those memories up in the form of basically anything, you know, it could be the music at the time, it could be the video games at the time, it could be the TV at the time, it brings back those memories for you, and those memories are often good, right? I remember playing Super Mario with my brother on the couch and just laughing and having a good time, and we're so innocent back then. So, you know, when Nintendo brings out Super Mario again, you're like, oh man, I wonder if playing that again brings back that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler, it doesn't.
Thanks for just
Some of the
letting us
games-
all
some of them
down
hold
lightly.
up. Some of them hold up, but
The games are
I
still
think-
good, but it's not going to bring
Yeah.
back that feeling, right?
No, it's not. It a little bit. It does bring my mind back to a simpler time. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I was very fortunate to have a great childhood. It was awesome. Lots of great memories. Lots of good friends that I played games with and stuff like that. And it's just only human nature that with age that, like, you cling on to some of the good memories and stuff. You know, it's nostalgia is a funny feeling, man. There's nothing like it. Like, when you run into something that you had as a kid, like I do a lot of garage sailing, used to do a lot of flea marketing and stuff for old games, and it's an indescribable feeling when you come across something that you used to have at a younger age, and you've got disposable cash now, so you pick it up. And it's just human nature, man, to cling to the past, especially the positive stuff.
Especially since so much of that stuff that you had back then, you got rid of for whatever reason. Either your parents threw out when you moved away, or, you know, maybe you had to sell it to get a new game or a new CD or something like that. You know, a lot of my CDs when I was a kid, I used to buy CDs and then sell the CDs to get new CDs, right? Back in the days where you used to buy
Pusher
CDs
man.
and then make a tape with the CD.
Were you that guy at
They
the
don't-
mall? Will you buy my
Sorry, they don't-
mixtape?
Bro, we
You
had
know,
a
that's
store. We had a store, a head shop in our town that you could sell CDs.
Nice. We had one similar as well. It's very cool.
For me, one of the best aspects of my youth growing up was video games. It was my escape. I didn't have the best childhood. I actually had kind of a rough childhood growing up. Parents divorced. There's a lot of infighting. A house full of kids. I've got 5 brothers and 1 sister. And so it was tough. We didn't have a lot. And so whenever we got video games once a year, it was a really special thing. I remember when my mom bought me the Super Scope 6 for Christmas when I was 11. You know, things like that. When I see him out in the wild, it brings me back to a time in my life where things were great when I was a kid, because we didn't have that very often. And most people don't see someone my age or our age who indulges in this type of shit. I go to a store and I see something that just, it's like you said, Wilson, it's a very unique feeling, nostalgia. It makes you tingle all over, and you want to share that with people. You want to bring people who are in the current space into that memory and kind of share it with them and show them what it was like. And so for me, that's what nostalgia is. And I think that it's easy to market it to people. And it could be, like Briar said, on any aspect of life. If you were there, those were the good old days. Whether you want to admit it or not, pretty much all of your life at this point in the past, you can call it the good old days because you survived it and you became a better person. And so when you see things in the present that remind you of those times, sometimes you want to reach out and grab it and hold on, because a lot of people forget who they were and what created the person that they are today. And those past experiences and memories are what cultivated the person you are. And for me, I hold on to it because it,
Well, the mind tends to block out the painful memories of your past and enhance the really good ones, right? It's like
that's why I
the
only remember
defense
video
mechanism.
games.
It's a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of your memories of the past, even if you had a painful, childhood, there's probably a lot of memories that you still have that will give you a sense of nostalgia. And like, even though my childhood was really painful, I did really enjoy those comic books, right? That I got those comic books once a month. They were escape for me. And now every time I see a Spider-Man comic book from that era, it really speaks to me and it really makes me think of the good times, Strong
Absolutely,
connection to
man.
Spider-Man because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Briar. I 100% agree, man. But I guess it's a question that will never be answered. Why is it so easy to market nostalgia? It's really marketing memories, man.
Yeah.
You go back 10, 20 years and market a shirt. Someone markets a Nintendo shirt, I feel an affinity towards buying it just with the Nintendo icon. I remember that. And it could be anything from a earlier point in time. And to me, it'll always be, and the older you get, the more shit you're going to end up buying, because one day, today, the stuff we have now will be nostalgia.
Right.
So this
Yeah,
conversation gets a lot more fucked in 10 years when Wilson and Gary start seeing the stuff that their kids or the younger generations start getting marketed to for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like when I see people
Minecraft.
getting marketed as nostalgia for Xbox games and PlayStation 2 games,
Remember
I'm like,
fidget spinners?
what? Remember fidget spinners?
Yeah.
Remember jams? You remember? Oh my God! When you start hearing your favorite radio on the oldie station, you're like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, things are going wrong fast over here."
That's huge.
We've got that in the UK. So we've got like BBC Radio, which is kind of like, like our national radio, whatever.
Mhm.
And it starts off at Radio 1 when you're cool and you're young. And as you get older, you progress to like Radio 2 and 3 and 4. And the older you get, the higher you go up through the ratings as to like where you are. I'm currently at Radio 2, so I'm not quite young, but I'm not quite old there. But
You still holding on to it though. You switch over to Radio 3 every once in a while, right? You're like, no, I'm still
No,
Radio 2. I'm still
sometimes-
Radio 2.
I go the other way. I flip back to Radio 1 and
Be
get
back.
crunk. That's it. I get lit. So
when Gary's in the car alone, he's on Radio 4. When somebody else gets in
Yeah.
the car, he goes to Radio 2.
When the lady gets in the car, it's back to 2.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. Speaking of nostalgia, who remembers Beanie Babies?
Oh yeah.
I remember
I
him.
do. My
I
mom
never-
was a certified realtor, and yeah, it was awesome. My mom would be like, make me and my friends be like, take you guys to McDonald's. We'd all stand in line and order separately so we could get the teeny beanies or whatever when they did
in
the small ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my mom was a realtor for she still is a Thai realtor. I mean, they're still making those things. Yeah.
Wait, I don't understand. A realtor for
like retail store, she sells
Oh,
them. I guess
okay.
is what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah,
Wow,
Is there
Okay.
still
she
a
has
market for him?
they've kind of moved. Like, yeah, there still is. It's mostly, for lack of a better term, senior citizens that are really into them. But there's this new thing called Webkins, and it's the same thing, except you have a little code on the tag, and you can go online, and then you could take care of it like an online Tamagotchi or a Gigapet.
Oh wow!
Oh,
So that's the new hot shit.
How the internet changed
That's an
Tamagotchi.
ingenious idea. Whoever thought of that was
It
absolutely
is
brilliant.
It is brilliant.
The
yeah, but I
only
mean,
thing,
for the cost of a Tamagotchi is what, like $20-$30? Like, you
don't
can just buy a
remember.
hamster at the store for 15, and it's the same principle. If you don't feed it, it will die. You have
Yeah.
to clean up its shit. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not real stinky shit.
Yeah, it's real tangible shit versus digital pixels.
Look, I go
You've
into
never-
Fortnite and I'm chopping down trees and blasting rocks, but I don't want to do it in real life.
Right, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there was
There's
one
no
thing,
mini game where I got to hit the tree in the specific spot either.
You can make one.
There, but like Lisa said, I don't really think there is an exact answer as to why nostalgia marketing is so successful. I think it's just an exploit that they know will work. That preys on certain generations. I guess, for lack of a better term, preys on certain generations.
I
I
think it
enjoy
preys
it. I
on
love
all.
the feeling. Yeah.
I think it preys on all generations, and I think it's something that's been going on for decades.
I
At
do
least.
wonder. I wonder how immune the current crop of kids who are like 15. Like I'm watching my kids grow up, right, and they don't see advertising at all. Like they just don't get
Yeah.
advertising.
So
sure,
true.
they see YouTube videos, but they click skip ad on every video, and they run an ad blocker for about everything. You know, like they don't turn on the TV, so they don't see ads on TV. Like they just don't get advertised to. So I wonder how that's going to influence as they grow up, right? They're so different. Sure, every generation goes through this, but they are so different. The way they are growing up, the activities they enjoy is so foreign to me. I can't wait to see how they develop as young men. You know,
Wow.
I can't wait because like they're never being exposed to marketing. What does that do to you? Or you know, like what has it done to us as opposed to what does it do to you or them, because they're not exposed to it. So they're the control sample for advertising.
Yep. It's going to be a new form of advertisement. You know, I don't see ads at all. I have cable, but I don't watch it. It made my internet bill a little bit lower, so I added it, unbelievably. But when we went on vacation in the middle of the month, we were at my sister-in-law's house, and we had to watch commercials. And I swear, I felt like I was back in '84.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it, that it was still a commercial like every 2 minutes. I was like, what? You actually sit through this? I can't believe it.
You guys have it rough in the US though. Like you guys have commercials every 10 to 15 minutes during an episode. Like we in the UK, we kind of don't tolerate that shit. Plus the American commercials are like some harsh shit. Like whenever I'm in the States, I go over there and every episode convinces me to take some sort of, like every advert is like, you must take this prescription medication.
That's
They're
it.
Like listing shit that you've got. Like, are you tired? Are
I'm
you
half
awake?
convinced that
Are
they're
you
giving
lonely?
people diseases. Like they're like, do your legs wiggle when you sleep? You have restless leg syndrome. I'm like, shit, my legs do wiggle when I sleep.
because we've got the NHS over
I
here in
gotta
the
talk
UK,
to
like,
my
as in free-
doctor.
Because we've got free healthcare, we don't have that shit. People don't like marketing medication to us. That's the biggest change that I saw in your American marketing. Is I'm watching the TV and there's someone trying to sell me this prescription shit to get me hooked on. Like,
Yeah,
only
yeah.
$49.99. We'll give you a free pill case. Like, take this shit. Like,
Yeah. Dude, erectile
crazy.
dysfunction. How much erectile dysfunction is an actual like physical problem for people, and how much of it is people hearing about it through a commercial being like, that can happen,
I've got
and
to
then
be
just
honest,
being
it's
scared it's
pretty-
going to happen to them, so it does.
It's a pretty real.
Man, I
problem.
hope I
Let's
can
not-
get it
let's
up
not make light of it, okay?
Manifest
Let's not trigger me
destiny.
with my erectile
Yeah.
dysfunction.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's but another thing to be said too is that an hour-long program is gonna be 20 minutes worth of commercials over here.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna get a
For
40-minute.
sure. You get
45
42
minute
minutes.
program.
42 minutes out of an hour is the actual
Right.
show.
On our
And
terrestrial,
18
on our
is commercial.
standard TV, so not cable and stuff, our standard TV like BBC One, 2, whatever, they have no commercials, zero.
Yeah, but
You
it's
have
government
zero
funded TV.
Yeah, that's PBS. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got like normal shows on it. It's just like you
Yeah,
can
but
have
it's still
movies and
government
stuff.
funded TV. Like you pay
Yeah,
a
it's
tax to own a TV, and
Yeah,
that
but
funds
it's
your.
commercial free. It's just
Yeah,
solely
it's just funded differently though. Like you still pay for it. You just don't pay for it with the time sitting in
You're
front of the
paying
TV.
for
You
it
pay
through
for
your
it the
taxes and
time at
stuff.
work.
Yeah, I suppose so. You don't feel it like it's like $15 a month for like a TV license. So
It's
it
just
kinda
it's a different system though. That's what I'm saying. Is like they don't have to fund the content through commercials like they do here because they tax you for it. That
I don't know. It was just a culture shock watching American TV. Like,
Yeah, I bet.
You guys have like the title reel commercial, then a bit of the show, then a commercial, and then like
Mhm.
you guys have a commercial, then the credits, and then a commercial. It's like
I don't
just-
even know
that's
anymore
like-
though because everything I watch is like off of Netflix or on YouTube
Same.
or like so it's just
I
like
don't have cable TV anymore.
I don't
That-
see that.
yeah,
don't
I
see the
haven't had
point
it in
of
10
having
years.
Yeah.
That model of just like constantly barraging you with commercials when I do go to somebody's house that has it running, like I'm like, holy shit, this is like unwatchable.
Yeah.
Like, how did we deal with this?
It's a commercial box nowadays. That's all it is.
I
My
find the best
son-
entertainment on TV in the States. Sorry, Bees, I'll let you crack on
Oh,
there.
no
But whenever
problem,
I've
no
come over, and I'm probably over in the States maybe 4 weeks out of every year, the best entertainment you guys have is your news. Your news is fantastic. American news is like the best news in the world. It's
Fake
like,
news.
I'm not going to talk about any particular stations. Like, I don't care. Just any station that I go onto. You guys have like the most attractive newsreaders I've ever seen. Like it's like Hollywood celebs. Like
Okay, that's
reading your
actually
news.
something different than the news being good.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've got
The
that.
agree with
attractiveness
Brian
of the hosts.
You sure you just didn't go to the Playboy channel with the weather and you know what I mean? They had this.
I mean, the newsreader did get their breasts out halfway through the episode. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
that
sure what
definitely
it
wasn't
was.
Fox, man.
Yeah, that's called the Playboy channel.
Yeah, probably was. Probably
It's
was.
funny,
Anyway,
though.
please.
It's something Kate and I were talking about. My son had mentioned to us earlier in the week that his mom had a $200 cable bill, and she was stressing over it because she doesn't like paying that much for her cable. And he told her, he said, "Mom, why don't you just get Netflix, get a Roku box or something like that?"
Yeah.
And she told him, she said, "Well, there's certain shows I need to be able to watch." And he said, "Well, Mom, if you just get internet, you can watch those shows. You can get little subscription plans through the internet." And she just didn't understand. My mom, she pays about $170 a month for her digital TV up in Ohio. And she told me that she gets all these hundreds of channels. And I explained to her that, well, you can't watch them all at the same time. Why don't you just get internet, which she has, get rid of the cable and just watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. And she still didn't get it. She still didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And that's how
you've got to try it. My mother wasn't getting it for a while either. Like she'd listen to what I was saying, because I haven't had a cable box in my house for 10 years. And I'd tell her what I was up to, and she'd be like, "Yeah, but what about this? What about that?" I'm like, "It's all there. The difference is, though, is she's somebody who likes to put on a channel and just have it playing. You know what I mean? It's like she'll put on home and garden TV or do-it-yourself TV, and she's not necessarily sitting on the couch watching it. But while she's she's doing something in the kitchen, or she's vacuuming, or she's playing with the dog, and it's just kind of on as background noise. Like somebody else might have music on. She likes to have home improvement shows on, because that's like kind of her hobby is like home improvement and real estate kind of stuff. So she really likes having that stuff on, and she tunes it out half the time. But sometimes there's somebody on there saying something really intelligent, and she picks that information up. So you can't use Netflix in that way, kind of. Like. It doesn't, Netflix and the Hulu, they don't kind of work that way. You can sort of do it, but it's not the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a constant change. I feel like that era of television is actually moving away. It's going away. I think that very soon we'll be at the point where a majority of the world is watching television through the internet only. I think cable and cable service providers are going out the door. I think that they know that. To me, the writing's on the wall. It's been on the wall for a long time.
It's a damn shame, because I like trash cable. Like, we've got the same in the UK. Like, I miss Maury. And
don't do that. That's the worst fucking TV in the history. Maury and Jerry Springer does not ever need to be on American TV.
I'm waiting for the Beastly episode. Is Beastly the father of this child? I want these episodes.
That would be so much fun to have us all on like a panel on Maury Povich.
When he says
Wilson's throwing chairs at Gary.
Yep.
Gary, Beasley's got the pregnancy test out. He's like, "You're the daddy."
It's the best. It's my dream. My dream to be in there.
Maybe we should do one of those dumb teasers, pretending to be on like the fucking Maury Povich show.
I'm down. Gary's going to be the lead actor, though. He's the best actor on the Revolver crew.
Was the Cash Me Outside girl? Was she was Maury? Was she, or was she in a different show?
Yeah, she was on Maury. Yeah.
No, she was Dr. Phil, wasn't she?
Dr. Phil. Yeah.
What does that mean?
How about that?
He's just a cleaned up Maury. I like the raw authenticity of Maury. Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, I want to do more of those promo videos that we were doing before we started the show. They've ruined me on YouTube. I was talking about this on DCP the other day. Is that my motivation to do like normal ass YouTube videos is at an all-time low. All I want to do is fucking stupid ass DCP promos where, we're all like looking at the camera with dramatic faces going, "Revolver." That's all I want to fucking do.
They're fun to make.
They were fun. They were fun to make.
It's fun. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do some more.
I think if chat want to see it, they should definitely show the love right now and give us some motivation to get crunk and get stupid on the on the promos.
You guys let us know what you'd like to see us do as far as promo videos or funny quirks and ideas at revolvergamescast@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions or comments, please send an email. Let us know what you guys think. Anything referring to today's show or topics, please send us the email revolvergamescast@gmail.com.
I mean, before we go on to the last topic, funny behind the scenes story for you guys. The Revolver teaser 2, which you may or may not have seen. which was a collab between Brian and myself, me telling a story about the rabbit
Yes,
who was
seen it.
the greatest shooter in the West, and Brian falling asleep playing the guitar.
He sure was asleep.
That funny behind the scenes story, I was filming that in a bit of private land near me. And the point when I'm frantically looking into the camera wearing a child's cardboard fucking hat and a Pokemon shirt, loading my stuff in, talking about the rabbit and running away, happened to be a point when two relatively innocent, quite elderly looking people walking their dog just happened to be walking past that part of the field and looked at me as if I was going to rob them. Like the faces that they pulled, they were just trying to, like, you know, find out where their wallet was, where their phone was, trying to look safe and innocent.
I like the
Never
stuff
trust
you were-
a man with a
I like the
Jigglypuff
stuff
on
you
his shirt.
Yeah, agreed. With various Pokemon Jigglypuff on their shirt. I like the stuff you're putting into the bag. I think I heard a bag of crisps. We call them chips over here. I don't know what you guys call them. But like a bag of potato chips.
Potato chips.
There was
yeah,
definitely some sort of snack item that was going into your bag, so I'll give you props for that.
There was a pink bandana. There was a Hawaiian shirt. There was a bag of snacks. There was some strawberry laces. Yeah, it was quite an assortment, actually. yeah.
At least you had your priorities straight. You know,
Yeah.
the rabbit was coming. You had to get the most important shit in your house.
Fucking that cardboard cutout over your head takes years off, man. You look like you were 12 all over again with that thing. Like you
You
just
know-
got done with your birthday party.
I respect the determination of him. You know, he gave his whole spirit to the acting job. You know, he got these two ladies walking towards him. He didn't waver. He didn't look away from the camera. He looked frantic. He looked as afraid as they looked. So I mean, you
I was in
a fucking great
character. I
job.
can't break character. I'm a
Right.
method actor. You know, I'd worked hard to get into character. I'd spent 10 minutes getting myself into the mode. No, I had to roll with it.
I can just see Gary sitting out in the field crying, just getting himself there. The rabbit's
I was
coming.
there.
The rabbit.
It's coming.
So, do you think it's time to transition onto our last topic of the day?
Oh, I think so.
I
gotta
think
turn
it
the
is.
air
So,
conditioner here.
Gin Gin, thank you very much, Hugo. We're on to our last shot. Right. Gaming branded products. What do we think about Ultra Elite MLG Pro RGB filled gaming branded products? So the market is becoming filled with gaming products. Now this can be anything: gaming chairs, gaming headphones, you know, things like DX racers, RGB keyboards. I actually saw on eBay you can get something called a gaming lamp, right? And this gaming lamp is a rainbow ball that shoots RGB colors onto the wall around you
Oh,
to make it more.
I want it. Do you
I
see
know, I
this?
want
Do you
that.
see this tie-dye back here? It's just not doing it for me any, man. I need RGB lighting assortment. I want
I
it.
mean, you could.
I
you could
actually
probably
do
smoke it
have
out and have a
RGB
great
lighting
time
in
with
my
it.
room. Like
Oh
that
my
is,
God.
I have Hue lights that you can change the color of with an app on your phone, and it literally, like you can change it. You know, they turn blue when it rains. They used to turn red when Game of Thrones was about to come on because I knew that my wife was about to come get me for Game of Thrones.
That's awesome.
They
I
turn.
remember.
They get a little bit more yellow later in the night, and they turn the one in my bedroom. Actually, it starts very dim and then gets bright as like day by 8 o'clock in the morning, to like kind of wake me up at like a normal time without.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's actually really cool, but that's I don't think what Gary's talking
Yeah, it's a little different.
about.
But it's still
Sorry.
cool, Brian.
No, so it's more just like gaming things. What do we think? Do we think it's gone too far now? Do we think that gaming is just a term that's put on as a marketing term now, more so than actually being fit for purpose? So, I mean, I'm dragging DX Racer through the mud here, by the way, not a sponsor, obviously, probably never going to be now, but DX Racer, it's a fucking chair. How much more can you get? It's a,
Dude,
can it be a gaming
I've got a
chair?
dream of going to the dump, or not the dump, but like the pound, or where do they put in cars? I don't even know. Not the pound. That's where they bring dogs.
The scrapyard.
Scrapyard.
Junkyard, yeah.
I got a dream of going to the scrapyard and buying like a Mercedes chair and mounting it on wheels so that like that would be my chair for gaming. It was like a you know, a chair, like a seat from a car. You know,
Right.
it's-
Yeah.
it'd be a clever play on like the gaming racing chairs. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
wish-
funnier in my head than apparently when I say it out
wish-
loud.
I wish my
Certainly was.
wish my neighbor would take his car that he's had sitting out to the pound, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
It's been
right?
out there forever.
Well,
Bring it to the Humane Society.
Yeah.
This is what I think about it, Gary. Video games and video game media they make more money in gaming than we do in films. It's the number one money making, I think, as far as media goes and entertainment goes, the number one slot in the world is video gaming. And if you look at every other aspect of entertainment, music, and film, everything is marketed. You know, if you got a good movie out, there's 100 toys or 1,000 toys. Music, it's the same way. You see T-shirts and all kinds of marketing products. And video games, they just kind of open up the cauldron. There's so many different things that can be marketed around video games: characters, stories, places. And it's, you know, at the end of the day, these companies, these businesses that market these products, they want to make money. And they know that video gaming is the number one moneymaker in the world. It all makes sense to me. And I know that sometimes it can become, you know, over encumbering when you think that everything out in the world is pointed at you and asking you for money. But that's how capitalism works. And I think that's the reason it's still successful and sustaining success all these years.
The thing is, when I was a kid, is they didn't actually market anything to gamers. You went out and you bought a NES or a SNES, and that was it, right? Like maybe you could get, you know, accessories from Sears or from Bradley's, or like there were some accessories, but they were mainly just made by NES or Nintendo or Sega. Now is like you can get a gaming mouse, and it is significantly changed for gaming. You can get a gaming keyboard that is significantly different for even a motherboard, or you can get, you know, chairs. I know it's funny that, you know, they have gaming chairs, but you know, they're better than sitting on a couch if you're playing for long periods of time, because they're, you know, they're supporting better posture. They usually have better support. There's, I mean, what else is there? There's gaming monitors are different for gamers than a specific, like a regular monitor would be. So yeah, there's a lot of shit out there that says, you know, this is for gamers. This gel improves your grip on the controller. These are gaming glasses that, you know, get, you know, there's shit out there, but there's also really good stuff that it has been developed with gaming in mind, and it does work. You know, it is better for a gamer than other things.
I hear you on that. I mean, like, I definitely think there's things like monitors with higher refresh rates. Definitely, if there's a functional benefit to it being a gamer's thing. But you mentioned chairs. You know, you can get like a design by humans or something that's not a gaming chair, just a good supportive chair. It's infinitely going to be better. Astros, we've mentioned them before. I think they're a good headset, definitely, but they're not. I mean, the headset that I've got on at the moment, the Beyerdynamics.
So you gotta look at Astros when they came out too, because it was a completely different headphone market when Astros first hit the scene. Beats wasn't even a fucking thing. You know, high-end headphones were not something that was being sold in Best Buy or the local shop down the street. There was earbuds and there was off-brand earbuds. You know?
Yeah.
So right,
And all of a sudden, a couple of companies came out with, I think it was Triton and Astros came out with high-end gaming headphones. They're not great for listening to music. You're better off buying something like you got, the Beyerdynamics. Or you're better off getting, you know, a higher class an audiophile specific set of headphones if that's your goal. But for gaming, they offered a lot of cool features, like they would turn up the treble really high so you could hear footsteps in Call of Duty really well. You know, like they were gaming specific, and they were better than the shitty fucking headphones that came with your Xbox 360 or your well, I don't even think the Sony PlayStation 3 came with headphones.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Not that I remember.
Astro, in my opinion, Astro and Triton changed the game for headphones in the gaming world. And while the world has changed, and those, you know, they might not look as, you know,
amazing as they did back then.
Yeah, they really changed the game.
Yeah, I think they set the market, like a market standard to begin with.
Turtle Beach too, I think, is it?
Yeah, Turtle Beach was a huge one. Before I used like nice, good headphones. Back in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare days, my buddy was all about the Turtle Beaches, being able to hear people coming around corners and
sound whoring
stuff.
was a thing.
Yes, it was
you
huge.
Had a
That's why they had to.
Significant advantage.
Yeah, they had to make a perk that made you make less noise eventually. You know what I mean? For the game, that's how big of a deal it was. But like Breyer touched on, there's a lot of crap out there that I think a lot of people see through. Personally, I'm not a fan of like the gaming glasses, but hey, there's a thing called a placebo effect. If you really think it's helping you out, maybe it is. If you're into that, that's totally cool. They tried the whole gamer fuel or whatever, like with the, and then there was Mountain Dew did a play on that, and I bought it. It was cool. Like I think I bought it for I bought like a Halo 3 Master Chief one or something and kept it. But if you're gonna be spending a lot of time in a chair, on a keyboard, on a mouse, or something like that, I do feel that it is important to invest in something that is specifically designed for gaming. My keyboard, it's a little outdated. The Logitech G510, it's got 18 macro keys on the side. Obviously this is a MMO RPG style keyboard with all those macro keys, but it made playing the game much easier. Star Wars: The Old Republic is what I bought it for. It made playing the game much easier, much more enjoyable. I had to look down at my keyboard less, and it actually, the ergonomics of my hand, it felt a lot better to just reach over there and hit those macro keys that I have 18 of. And I think like some of the stuff is a ploy, like kind of to get people just to buy stuff. They slap the gaming edition on it. But ultimately, I think there's a reason why things are specifically designed for gaming, because they know that people spend a large amount of time at those things and they need to be comfortable. And
some of this stuff too, Wilson, is I'm starting to come around on like those glasses, right? Is those glasses came out how many years ago? 5, 6, 7 years ago? Basically, they're yellow tinted glasses, right? Mm-hmm. I can't remember the name of them. But they're yellow tinted glasses marketed toward gamers. And I thought, well, that's kind of, what? I don't get that. And then all of a sudden, Apple starts talking, well, now our new displays dim more yellow as the night goes on to be less stressful on your eyes. And Windows all of a sudden has this kind of night mode where it dims everything toward yellow to be easier on the eyes. And all the new monitors are coming with these blue light filters to be easier on the eyes. And I'm like, God, motherfucker, these guys selling these glasses 5 or 6 years ago weren't full of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely feel it after staring at my monitor all day. You can definitely feel the strain.
The point wasn't so much an attack on functional hardware. I mean, like Sweeping in chat just spoke about his Razer Naga MMO, and again, I used a Naga mouse, an MMO mouse for the buttons when it was out. I think there's certain things do function well in gaming. I think it's more the gaming as a brand when something is just a cheap product and they make it look extreme, they put fucking RGBs on it, or they make the plastic really flared and garish and call it a gaming thing. You see it most in PC gaming cases.
I don't love
Chinese
that.
Chinese and Taiwanese manufacturers will call it a gaming case, and they'll make the thing huge with exhaust fans everywhere, and it just looks awful. I don't know. I feel like, is the market in a place now where people are looking back to more authenticity in their brand, and they want something that's functional more than flashy. Like the headphones that I've gone for, etc.
Gary, I see it like literally there's a divide in my office. This side is all PC gaming stuff, and this side is all Apple stuff, and all the Apple stuff is white and metal and subdued and industrial designed and very beautiful, and all the gaming stuff is like garish and RGB'd out up the ass and yellow and fucking, like you say, like flares all over the place. And I was saying on Twitter, this was probably almost a year ago, I'm like, why doesn't anybody make a gaming mouse that doesn't look like a kid's toy? Like, why can't somebody just make a gaming mouse that looks like it was built for an adult? Because I don't need it to have, flashy yellow paint. I don't need to have naked women on the packaging and
I do.
Garish.
No, I disagree.
And garish lights all over the place. I don't really give a shit about that. I'm perfectly happy with something that looks like very well industrial designed and like is aesthetically pleasing, sitting on a desk that is neat and clean and tidy. Like, to me, that's much more attractive. But nobody makes that shit because they're selling to testosterone fueled adolescents. That want everything to look like a rat racer from 1960s cartoons.
I think it's also the attention span of the people they're trying to market. You know what I mean? It's easier to catch your audience, the younger audience's attention, if it's boom, lights and explosions. I mean, if My 12-year-old self, like that would have been the mouse for me with lasers and disco balls and all this
for
stuff.
sure.
Like, yeah, that would have been. But like, you get a little older and you want function over form.
I mean, keyboard RGB lighting has to be the single most redundant invention that's ever happened. I mean, all my keyboards have RGB lighting, and none of them have it enabled. Like, none of the keyboards I've had have ever had
like
the
it
RGB
because I look at my keyboard a lot.
Right, okay.
Because I'm not a touch typist. So when it's dark in my office, when I don't have like these blazing fucking lights staring down at me, like I don't mind being able to just like look down, like where the fuck is the function key on this keyboard? I don't know.
Okay, but what you're talking about illuminated versus RGB. So what I'm talking about is like you hit it and it's spiral fucking rainbows, 7 colors off the side of it, wherever you did like that sort of features. Like, why does that make it more gaming?
He's doing it right now.
Yeah,
he's doing it right now.
The webcam's dead, so we can't see it. But I imagine that Briar's frantically, touching keys and grinning to himself. But I don't know. I just feel like, is it time for us as gamers to start looking at the functionality of products? So I gave my headset as an example. Microphones, the fact that Turtle Beach is doing a stream mic, Razer do a microphone, like a gaming microphone, etc. They're just functional products, and you can get better alternatives elsewhere. I mean, Scuffs have got some relevance to them because of the paddles, but I'm just talking about where there's a direct comparable. If you've got a microphone or a chair, they're just, they do a purpose. This chair doesn't have extra frames in it. This is a chair. If I get a supportive chair that's ergonomic.
But does it have good lumbar support? That's the first thing you got to look into for me. I did concrete for like 9 years. I got to have some sort of lower back support on mine. And I'll tell you right now, Office Max has some awesome chairs, and they always have way too many. And just pay attention every week, and there's always 50% off chairs that would normally cost $300, $400.
Let me quickly tell you guys why I think we've come into this conundrum of gaming peripherals and gaming products looking with lightning bolts coming from them, and like you said, disco balls. This is the first time this has ever happened, and sometimes it's hard for companies that make products to understand that their demographic is getting older. Before us, there weren't adult gamers. Before us,
no,
we are the first generation of adult gamers. But to companies, we're like superheroes because superheroes never get old.
Gamers have money now.
Yeah. So to companies that make these products, their core audience is still kids. We were kids. We got a little bit older. By the time we all hit 20 years old, they were marketing to us. The next year, they were marketing to 20-year-olds. 5 years later, they were marketing to 20-year-olds. And now look at us at the age we are now. They're still marketing to this younger demographic. And they haven't really...
The games have moved on. The games have gotten more mature, but the accessory market hasn't really caught on yet.
I think that it's going to take a bold initiative for one of these companies that makes these types of devices to understand that there are 40, 45-year-olds who enjoy gaming and they enjoy PC gaming or console gaming who like to have... an adult version of some of these peripherals, something that doesn't stand out in your room. I mean, if you have a nice living room setup, you don't want a controller sitting on a table or a peripheral that looks like, a rainbow. You want something that's classy and something that's tasteful, and that could be, a benefit to maybe a classic entertainment center versus something that stands out like a sore thumb. So I think
even
one of
the
these
consoles have gotten better at this, right? It's like
you
look at the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 4. You compare
toys.
those to to me, they look a lot better than if you look back at like the old Genesis and NES and even the PlayStation 1. Those things look like toys to me.
Toys.
Whereas like the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360, they still, they don't fit in with high-end stereo equipment by any means, but like they don't stand out as much as like an NES would.
The Xbox One S is a beautiful looking machine.
It is.
It
is absolutely
how nice it looks. The One S is a perfect design, much better than the PlayStation cosmetically.
Yeah. Yesterday, Kate and I, we went and bought a new lawnmower because my son absolutely broke my old one. Mm-hmm. And while we were out, she saw the Xbox One S, and that was her first time physically seeing one. She was like spellbound. She said, "I gotta have this one. This is so attractive. It's so small." She just stared at it for about 5 minutes, and I think it's something we're going to end up getting, especially for PUBG. But that is to me
the Xbox One X is like coming right out. Are you going to buy an Xbox One S now?
Well, if the X is coming out I'll probably end up grabbing it for myself.
And if you get an X and don't buy a desktop PC, I don't know what we're going to do.
I was just gonna say, is this cutting into the PC desktop fund that you got?
Yeah, we got to talk
Approved.
here, Beasley. I think
Approved.
we might have to.
You guys
we
aren't
might
gonna
have
kill my
to.
fucking dreams here, okay?
We
I
might
was a
have
console
to.
gamer first. God damn it! I'll smash this Vita, Gary. Keep talking that shit. You better
Put
shut
the
up.
Vita
I will-
down.
Straight off the
I will-
show.
I
Put
will
the Vita
smash-
down, sir. Put the Vita down. There you go.
Like, we were
You're lucky
promised.
Wilson asked
We
me to
were
do it.
promised Beasley on PC. We were promised this, Beasley.
You will have Beastly on PC. I'll send you
In
all
1080p.
pictures, and you can look at me on 1080p. Beastly on PC. But the Xbox One X looks it looks a little bit better to me than the Xbox One S. But like I'm looking at the PS4 Pro, even the original Xbox One, they look great in the entertainment center. They just have kind of a classic look, and they do fit in with a high-end stereo equipment now. They actually have nailed it, in my opinion. To me, the Xbox 360 kind of looked toyish. The PS3 did as well, a little bit. But
I
going
love
back,
the original Xbox 360 with that inhale design. I thought that was a really nice design.
I didn't like the.
I guess it aged. It aged, but it looked
Yeah.
really cool.
Had a good look. Had a horrible function. I had like 7 of those.
Yeah, I'm with you, Wilson. I went.
you
through quite
mean
a
the
few, too.
ring of death?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
They
ridiculous.
looked sexy. They looked like I remember when I first saw one. My cousin Conman brought one over, and I was like, "This thing looks awesome." You know, you press the button and it goes around it like that, and I instantly wanted one. Like you're saying, it was a step up from. I always thought the Sega Genesis looked really cool, even though I was a Nintendo fanboy. The Genesis always looked something like out of like Mad Max and the Thunderdome compared to the rest.
Knight Rider, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got like the GameCube. It's like it's got a handle on it. Like, is this a lunchbox?
That thing was
Yeah.
designed to look like a toy. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like
I
a
don't know. I
Lego
just think
set.
anyone that doesn't design a piece of hardware, especially like gaming hardware that has a disc feeder in it, that isn't just a fucking square box, like a rectangular box, is just doing it wrong. You know, I don't even like the PlayStation 4, the way they've done
it
that
drives me
weird.
nuts with the
Well,
fucking. I hate the back of it. How it's
Yeah.
angled away from you, so you cannot see the plugs. If you're looking over it, you can't see
Yeah,
the fucking
I hate
plugs.
that.
It should be the opposite
You
way.
motherfuckers!
Brian,
Nailed it. The 1S nailed it because it's a square box, just nice and clear, square edges, perfectly slots into any cabinet. Perfect.
Speaking of slotting into any the perfect spot, Briar, the PlayStation 4 and the Pro, you got to treat it like sex, man. You just got to reach back, and then when you finally feel it go in, you found the spot. I mean,
Look,
that's-
because of what I do, I am constantly fucking with cables, right? I am constantly doing it. The other day, for a video I was doing, comparing the beta of Destiny 2 on the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, like graphically, I had both of the PlayStations sitting next to each other, and you cannot fucking see behind those things. It's all black back there. You
Yeah.
can't fucking see a thing. The PlayStation 4 Pro, if you want to make a pro console, put the fucking connectors on the front, motherfuckers.
Yeah, if you want to light something up, light up those ports, man.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man,
Make it functional and have some form to it.
Yeah.
right, for a man who professes the benefits of a Mac here, I spent $2,500 on my fiance's iMac.
Yeah.
Where do they put all the ports on that bitch?
Yeah, there's only 2 ports on it, though, so you know where they are.
Just look at the back of it. To turn the thing on, you've got to give it a reach around. Like, to try fucking turn the
You
thing
never
on.
have to you never have to hit that button, though. Like,
You don't
never.
have to-
You never have to
You don't
reboot a Mac.
cuddle- You don't have to cuddle with it afterwards, though.
yeah.
I'm doing some Brokeback Mountain shit to turn on the fucking Mac
Someday
every
we're going to
time
get
I
the
try.
Mac versus PC argument on this show.
I mean, Brian made a very good point about like fiddling for and the being a content creator, a Twitch streamer, and just all around tech advocate. He's constantly having to fiddle with stuff. You should have seen him just trying to get Discord working earlier today.
Welcome to the world, guys.
These guys,
If it
though,
ain't-
every time the show starts, they hear me and they see me like go through the frustration of, okay, what's not gonna freaking work today, man? Is it gonna be Discord? Is it gonna be Skype? Is it gonna be my webcam? Is it just gonna be Twitch? Like, who freaking knows? But I
OBS.
can
Don't
guarantee
forget
it's.
OBS, Briar.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I've had to hang up on you guys 50 times. Just like, nope, not working. Click. I don't even tell you anymore that
Yeah,
I'm
he
about to
doesn't say
hang up.
anything.
I just, boop, I'm gone.
Cheers.
It's because it feels good to just hang up.
That's it. That's it. Well, little known, Beastly has to rap the intro live every single week.
Yes.
We don't actually have it recorded. He just freestyles straight off the cuff.
Yeah.
Straight fire.
Bust a rhyme for you. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for Revolver Live, episode 2. We look forward to being back next week, same time, same place. The things that I'd like to do real quick is let you guys know what's going on with my channel. And of course, I'll let the other guys pimp out what they're going to be doing. First things first, I'd like to thank the Fallen Legion team for sending me a code for Fallen Legion on PS4 and PS Vita for a review copy. I'm going to try to get that played and get it out to you. Also, I'm going to be doing the very first episode of Horrorcraft, my new Minecraft series this week. Yes, Gary.
Yo, everybody else on this call got a free preview of that, and you took the video down before I could see it.
No, it's up. I
it's
put
up?
the video live. It's on my it's on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I had to change it a little bit, but that's going to be, I think, going to take up a majority of my time on YouTube in the near future. I'm really excited about it. And Brian, what are you going to be doing this week?
First up, I'm going to be playing a little PUBG with Pope Bear 9 minutes ago, so that's going to be fun.
9 minutes ago?
Yeah, 9 minutes ago. If I don't know if anybody is up for that, but we're going to need to fill out a team. So if Wilson or Beastly or Gary, if you are up for a little bit of PUBG after this, we're going to be doing that.
You guys got room for a token?
Yeah, on Tuesday we're going to be doing we're going to be playing Fortnite as a group, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. We'll get into that. We're going to try and do that as commonly as we can every Tuesday to do Revolver plays. I think that'll be a lot of fun going forward into the future. Obviously, there's going to be Destiny news on the YouTube channel. Iron Banner is coming up, and this is going to be the last Iron Banner of Destiny. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and get in there and play with some viewers the last Iron Banner, because I don't even know if there's going to be an Iron Banner in Destiny 2.
Crazy. So
let's all get frustrated together one last time. Do some Iron Banner together. It's Control. It's going to be just like the old days, except with more grenades.
Okay.
That's all I could think of that I'm doing this week.
Wilson, you got anything to pimp? I heard you were streaming, man.
Yeah, I fired up the old stream. It's been a few months. I used to stream a lot, and it kind of started to become obsessive, so I took a step back, and I fired it up last night, did some PUBG, and had a great time. So if you guys want to come check me out at Wilson309 on Twitch.
Hit that follow button right now so you don't miss it later. Turn on those notifications, because he'll fucking stream. You won't even tell he's streaming. He'll just do it. You better have those notifications live, otherwise you're going to miss it.
Can confirm he is a shitty friend who doesn't tell you when he's going live. He just goes live.
You can take those comments any way you want. I'm just saying hit that follow button.
There you go. As far as YouTube goes, not really any plans for YouTube. That could change. When Destiny 2 comes out, definitely expect some montages to be posted up there. Same thing, Wilson309 on YouTube. And if you want to send me some feedback or shoot the shit on Twitter, you can find me at Ryu Wilson. That's RYU Wilson on Twitter. What about you, Gary?
So I've had a fun week, actually. This week I've decided that I'm going to make the jump into streaming. I'm going to become a streamer. So I guess it's probably a good time to announce it, actually. We, as a show, have actually set up a Twitch channel. We have a whole 0 followers, so it's a big channel right now. It's huge, massive, massive. What we're planning to do is give you guys a bit more content between the week. So during the weekends, obviously you've got this on Sunday to look forward to, but if you want to catch us as a group streaming, especially Tuesday nights, other nights, we're going to kind of have a rotating seat where we can all get behind it and play some games, be it console, be it PC, etc. So one of these hosts here, you'll see us on the channel supporting. So I've actually built myself a second PC dedicated to streaming, so I can give you guys some quality visuals.
Potato.
Oh,
yeah, right.
You're sick. You ain't seen me. I'm just going to be on World of Warcraft all day. They're going to be so bored of it. They're going to be begging me to get off the stream. It's going to be like 12-hour days of WoW that they're going to have to watch. But yeah, I mean, I've got plans to stream under the Revolver Live tag to help give you guys some midweek content. Aside from that, you can catch me basically shit posting and baiting people on Twitter. It's at Gary Diaz 86_BT. The BT stands for Big Thuggin', as I tell them every week. Or Blue Tomato. I'm not quite sure yet which one we're going to go for.
Depends
One
on
of the two. One of the two. But yeah, catch me on either two. As I said, if you got anything to do, or hit us on revolvergamescast@gmail.com if you've got more long form email to do. Last thing I do want to pimp out as well, because I've been hogging this limelight, so I might as well go out with it. We will be on iTunes this week, and we will also be on Google Play. So we've got a main site on Podbean which feeds through to all the Android sources, and I've seen to it that we'll be on iTunes this week. So if you want a better quality audio version, you can catch us there. I would say watch the YouTube version where you can see Briar sternly staring at the camera as he has been for the past 90 minutes with his webcam. I'm pretty sure he's just taken his pants off, and that was the whole point of freezing the webcam.
He's completely nude now. He's free.
I'm actually in the toilet as we speak.
That's what I was gonna say. That was a toilet face. That was a toilet face.
I just brought the green screen into the toilet. I'm a much happier person now.
Yeah, you talk about gaming chairs. You need to get the DX Racer Toilet Edition.
Right? The key was,
Massive
it was a huge step up when I got the cushion pad for the toilet seat as opposed to that hard ceramic.
Yeah, and right now they got a deal going on that you get a free bedpan with it too for when you leave.
Never leave home without it.
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, feedback is always welcome. Talking about the Gmail. I mean, last week we had some really quality emails. We didn't ask for nudes. The only person we got any nudes from was Beastly. It didn't take us long to identify the source of that trouser snake. But if anyone else wants to send us anything. Again, art, pictures, videos, anything that you want to send us, we'll be more than happy to have on revolvergamescast@gmail.com. So also, please do send us something.
If you guys have any topics you'd like us to cover, we actually have a kitty of topics that we haven't used. And if you'd like us to address something gaming related, you can write it out, maybe a short little synopsis of your thoughts on anything in gaming, and send it to revolvergamescast@gmail.com. And hopefully we'll have you on the show.
Not really.
Are we done? Is that the end of the show?
I'll tell you what, Briar. End it once you move. Why don't you move and then?
I've been moving the whole time. You guys can't see me moving, but the audience has been seeing me move the whole time.
Really?
End it with a little revolution, little revolver.
I think
revolver.
I think the fidget spinner somehow messed up the equilibrium. My computer started, and then all of a sudden my screen started spinning all around. I didn't know what was going on. Briar's been sitting still for the last 2 hours.
I'm one of those statues you see in the park.
Not a statue.
Yeah,
it's a guy dressed up.
Spray paint him silver.
Exactly. It's exactly.
I mean, maybe we'll have a little message for chat to end it. I mean, it's been a long show this time. We've gone over 2 hours. We've got people who are still in here talking, and if you have made it this far, we want to say from the bottom of our hearts, all of us here, what are you doing with your lives? Why are you still here? Go home. Do something else with your time. Really.
That's not
2
nice,
hours.
Gary.
I thought he was going in a different direction.
I thought he was. Don't be an asshole, Gary. How about a dick joke?
Right? They've been waiting for 2 hours for a good dick joke, and you just literally slapped him across the face.
Well, mine has been on the floor the whole show.
No, seriously though, thank you guys very much for hanging out. We do appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
We love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Revolver Live, baby, episode 3 coming next Sunday. You better be ready.
That's right. We out.
Peace.